that led us to the grand finals of the Quarantine Anniversary Cup, where we can guarantee you a few things. Some high-level survivor play, some high-level infected play, and we can guarantee you the casters will say the word indeed at least 20 times. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody all around the world. And thank you for joining us today for another Left 4 Dead 2 competitive shoutcast. My name is MK. I'll be one of your shoutcasters today. We have the lovely Vanille who will be camera winning for today. How you doing, Vanille?
I'm great. How about you?
Just waking up, getting the coffee down. And then, of course, we have the legendary caster himself, Mr. Rails Barlow.
Hello, hello. This is going to be a hell of a grand finals match between teams Amp and Skyrise here in the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament Grand Final. Like you said, MK, it's been 16 weeks. We've had a whole lot of Left 4 Dead 2 played, and it comes down to one game on LA between these two teams. That, to me, honestly, we've seen a lot of the home and away games play, which I think does add a bit of balance, but this is going to be a very, very, very high-stakes match that we're going to see, and for one of the first times that I can remember, at least in a while, we are going to be getting a live map ban that we're going to be able to talk about to see how these two teams are going to play. MK, I am so excited to see exactly how this plays out because the strategy is already starting when you look at these 12 maps in front of us.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing these as well. There's a few of them I hope that do get voted in, and a few, of course, that I don't want to see. But all in all, I am excited for this match. I know we're going to see some high-level play, Rails, and I'm already going to start it off, but I'm indeed ready for this.
Same here. So I do believe momentarily the teams are going to start on these maps in terms of what we're going to eventually get for this Grand Finals game. And as I just mentioned, there are 12 maps, and Amp, I believe, as the higher seed, is going to be picking first in terms of the ban, right? And when you have an even number like this, that means that Amp's going to probably get first pick, and they're also going to be able to pick the last map that is vetoed until we get all the way down here. In the Casters War Room, too, just right before this, we were talking about a little bit of, would they want to play one of these custom maps? And the thing is, I think no matter what map they're playing, aside from Parish, from what we've heard, because it is that one game on LA best of one, they're going to be playing Finale on whatever, whether it's Dark Carney or whether it's, I don't know if they're going to do Carnival Remix, but I would say for any of the campaigns that Finale used to be played in terms of like Hard Rain Downpour, probably Dead Before Dawn as well, we're going to be seeing 5 maps from both of these teams, and that gives a lot of opportunity for, like I said, the ability to ban a map that you really don't like, I think that is a huge advantage, and I think Amp deserves that, right, because they are the number 2 seed in the tournament, Skyrise is the 5th seed in the tournament, and Amp never went down to that lower bracket, so they're going to have just a bit of an advantage there going into the actual game.
Yes, indeed, they're going to. And actually, when I saw the pool of the maps here, Rails, there's a few of them that will be quite interesting if it actually did make to finale play. But there's also some maps where I would like to see maybe a little bit more infected friendly than a little bit more survivor friendly. Like my personal opinion is I kind of not like to see regular Dark Carnival played in it, but it's all going to come down to, in my opinion, whatever team thinks they play better on both sides. So after the first few weeks and some of these maps are back in the rotation, I know certain teams are going to want to play the ones that they were a little bit better at, and I'm pretty curious to see what Amp's going to pick, and pretty curious to see what is Skyrise is going to pick down the line,
right?
When it gets down to those last 2 maps that are going to be picked.
Exactly, and there are a couple of ways that the teams could approach this. I think, honestly, because Skyrise is sort of the underdog here, right? They could choose to try to have a map that isn't necessarily Dark Carnival, right? Because that's the map that everybody's played 3 million times, especially in the Asian scene from what I've heard, right? Or they could try to go with a wild card scenario, but I think we're going to see Blood Harvest off the table soon. I think we're going to see Dead Center probably off the table. But I mean, hey, if it comes down to a grand finals on Dead Center best of one, that would be awesome. And as we say that, the map banning has started. Right away, Amp immediately vetoes Blood Harvest, so that is not gonna, like I said, no one was going for that. Dark Carnival is out, that's Skyrise's first pick. See, this is the thing. So, okay, let's see what Amp does now. I don't know if anyone really wants to go Suicide Blitz for this either, especially if they're playing 1 through 5. But now it's really going to be interesting to see what Amp goes with here. They could either veto one of the more regularly played maps, or we just get the custom maps out of the way right away.
Yeah, indeed. So far it's Blood Harvest, Dark Carnival, which leaves Carried Off, Remix, Dead Before Dawn, Dead Center, Die Scraper Redux, both Hard Rains, Parish, Pacifice, and Suicide Blitz yet to be vetoed to get down to those nitty gritty. So I guess right now they're talking about it, deciding which the second map they're going to ban is. and in a few moments they'll bring it up. And I don't know, Rails, which one do you think's going to pop up next?
I think it's really interesting that Amp, they made the play that I think a lot of people would have made to get rid of Blood Harvest, but then Skyrise getting rid of Dark Carnival, interestingly enough, in their semifinals match, which was also a best of one game versus Boys in the Favela last week, right? They did pretty decently on Dark Carney. They came from behind once again to win that, but there goes Pacifice from Amp. That to me is not very surprising either. Parrish is also now going to be out. Wow. Okay, so now, we got rid of Carnival, we got rid of Parrish. Regular Hard Rain and Hard Rain Downpour are both still on the board. If you're asking me right now, I think we get one of those two as the grand final. Just looking at how this is going.
I think you might be right, but oddly enough, the weird thing to say, Rails, is that actually there's only 2 more original maps left, so technically, the rest of them are all custom campaigns going into these next voting rounds. So they're only leaving Dead Center, Hard Rain, Normal on the map, and I agree with you. Probably one of the Hard Rains are going to be it, unless one of them favor more of a custom map that they're better on, maybe than the other team in their mind.
There goes regular Hard Rain, though. That is Skyrise. Vetoing. All right, so we've got Amp eliminating Carried Off, Skyrise eliminating regular Hard Rain. I still see Downpour as being a heavy option here, but interestingly enough, right, Dead Before Dawn and Dead Center are still on the table. There goes Suicide Blitz from Amp. So, all right, now we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4. We're down to 5 maps here. This is awesome to see that Dark Carney Remix and Hard Rain Downpour are both still in the pool, but the only vanilla map left is literally Dead Center, MK.
Yeah, and I highly doubt that one would be picked.
There goes Downpour.
Poor is gone, Rails.
Wow, wow.
It looks like he's leaning more to custom campaign at this point.
I swear, if we get a Dead Center, if this comes down to a scavenge finale for the entire tournament, I would absolutely love that in one way, but I believe Dead Center is going to go, and it really could come down to DK Remix, but Die Scraper also still being on the table there. Both teams are going to be playing with an ample amount of ping on LA. I don't know if I would want to deal with Die Scraper Redux in terms of that, but I think both teams did really well on Die Scraper too. So if it comes down to that is a 4-map campaign, and as we're casting something like that, right, with both these 4-map campaigns left, if somebody screws up map 1, right, that could be the entire game. And there goes Dead Center! Oh boy, alright.
Custom map to finish the tournament.
Someone's gonna, I don't know. There goes Carnival Remix. We are gonna be playing Dead Before Dawn. Okay then. So that is super duper interesting to me. I don't know if did somebody veto Die Scraper, or did that I think somebody did, right? So we got just Dead Before Dawn, I think, is the last option. I didn't see one of the X's go over Die Scraper Redux, but I'm assuming that's what we're gonna see now.
Yeah, because I see it highlighted blue.
So, interestingly enough, right, Dead Before Dawn has been used in a couple of Grand Finals previously. I remember it being used as the Grand Finals of the Bleed Out tournament between... actually, I think that was the winner's bracket finals of the Bleed Out tournament between Serenity and HCP back in the day. And now, I mean, the thing about Dead Before Dawn is I expect both these teams to have pretty good experience on that map, but there are so many things that can go wrong on that map so fast in every chapter. So... this makes things super duper interesting, especially because we're guaranteed to have that 1 to 5. This is going to be a hell of a match.
Yes, it was, and oddly enough, Rails, I originally started this game playing on the Xbox 360. This was actually one of the maps that was actually raved about by a lot of the community, how badly they wanted to play this. And of course, it wasn't available for the Xbox. We all assumed, since it was one of the first pictures of a custom map, that we thought it would be over there, so... I think it's perfectly fitting to be the end of this tournament, at least from an Xbox player's perspective, as I was one myself. Sadly.
I mean, this is going to be... okay, Dead Before Dawn map 1, I can see both teams making that, and I mean, it's pretty easy to hold. The tank, you can kill that pretty easily in the safe room if it's the usual static spawn. But then, if we go to, I don't know, a map 3, map 4 scenario here. I don't expect to see map 4 to be, the turning point of this. It can be, but this is one of those scenarios where the team that's leading by the finale, especially on Dead Before Dawn, is most likely going to win. It's not that a comeback can happen on the finale, but it's really, really Survivor side from what I remember. And they do get 1 tank, I'm pretty sure, but you can make a massive amount of bonus on that map. We could be seeing an extremely high-scoring game, or we could be seeing, because of the ping disadvantage for both teams, really, right? We could be seeing a low-scoring game that has a lot of special infected wipes, so this is going to be super duper interesting to see how both teams play it. I'm a bit surprised that it is Dead Before Dawn, but hey, of the custom campaigns, like you mentioned, if it's popular enough to have been ported onto Xbox that way, you know it's been a map that is in the Left 4 Dead 2 canon that way, I'd say.
Yes, and as I have played it before, it's actually a pretty fun map. You just have to, of course, if you are a competitive player and you haven't done really many custom maps, I'd say it's one of the more better ones, in my opinion, more enjoyable to play. As some custom maps, if you don't know them at all, you're frantically looking for spawns, and I think this one is a little bit more friendly towards the infected, if you ask me, especially if you're a newer player. But these are obviously top tier teams, so you're going to see them play the best of pretty much anybody can on these 5 chapters coming up, which is something I've been looking for a while, Rails. That actually I figured it'd be a pretty fitting time to announce this to the community. I don't know how many people know, but you do know about this, Rails, and so does Vanille. I did attempt to make a trailer video for this, but due to copyright and me picking the songs I want, I couldn't do it.
Damn it.
So instead of that, I'd like to announce that there is actually a Crash Course remake being created, and it is dangerously close to being finished, and it will be 5 chapters, by the way.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've loved about this tournament, and as we've gone over the past few years now, the inclusion of Downpour and the inclusion of a remix, it's like, here's what it looks like to have a map designed from a competitive player standpoint that is a reimagining, and that Crash Course remix sounds to be along the same vein that way. You know, because Crash Stand, I've seen it played in Pug a fair amount if people just don't randomly start up Dark Carnival or Veto it that way, but instead of having, 2 campaigns that are markedly different being put together, the 5 map really does make it homogenous, and I think that's really, really good, so.
Yeah, it's something I'm looking forward to getting out there soon, but we'll see what happens when it gets to that point. But hopefully, Sir Please could hear this and help out a little bit on putting it on there for a little play testing when the time comes. But for now, we're gonna get ready for these grand finals on Dead Before Dawn. Just gonna wait for some people to get in the servers, and we'll join up and starting that any moment. Which, like I said before, Rails, it's been 16 weeks long. We've been waiting for this game right now, and it's about to happen any moment.
Indeed it is, and I do believe we are on the Los Angeles server now. Sweet 7:16 a.m. on the West Coast for this, which is also Vanelle's time zone. So shout out to those there who are able to work through the sleepiness here. And I think we're actually seeing, what is this? It's a 70% tank for map 1. And there is a rule to set the tank spot. I am not 100% sure because I am not officially a tournament admin for this, but if they want to set the tank to something like 45, that makes sense, because probably when it gets later in the map, I was a little skeptical at first just because, when you see a 70% tank on this, it is really, really, dependent on if the survivors can either run it back, which is a pretty long haul, or they fight it near a tunnel where it's like, okay, they're going to deal with a bunch of spawns on either side, and I think it's a decent amount of time before the event that they have to deal with too, so their rule might be because there's a conflict between when the tank spawns and if the horde's going to run out or something like that, but we are going to be playing 1.9.16. I know the VGT3 that's going on right now upgraded, quote-unquote, the config to 2.2, but this in front of us here might be one of the last games we see on 1.9.16, so that, of course, means the regular Uzi is a lightning gun, MK, and that has a lot of implications for this map.
Yeah, we should be seeing a lot of survivors taking 3 of the regular Uzis instead of the Suzis due to the amount of chip that they can get early. And we already know that this tank's probably going to be run back to the safe room. It's pretty standard area to fight the tank. The tank has the option to bring cars in as well. But either way, I'm curious to see which way they're going to go. Like you said on the path here, I mean, left seems to be the pretty standard way to go. Of course, they do have the car alarm to deal with that way, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty the standard way to go left, Rails. I very rarely see any team go to the right path.
No, and if there is ever an early tank, the tank most of the time, from what I remember, does try to commit in from the right-hand side. There's a couple hitables that they can use, and that actually is going to be the tank that I think we're going to see because they have changed the tank spawn from 70% to 45. Big implications already. If any team wipes on this early tank MK, we've talked about it being a repeated theme across a bunch of different campaigns, but I can see teams making 800 or 900 points on this map. You really, in a best of 1 5 map, can't afford to fall behind by like 700 points. But it's a good time for us to mention, actually, that on their road to getting here, right, Skyrise as that 5th seed, they're going to be the underdog in this game. The last 2 matches that they played, right, which were both elimination games, Hard Rain Downpour and also on Dark Carney regular, they came back on map 4 both of those games, from what I remember. They beat Mad Sad Bad on Downpour, which was their avenging of the AOC Grand Finals loss, and then they beat the Favela Boys, who were the tournament's #1 seed in that losers bracket final, both with map 4 comebacks. We can see the same here, but honestly, in a game of this caliber and with the entire tournament on the line, I just don't like being the team that falls behind early.
I completely agree with you, because right now, like you said, Team Skyrise has had that back-to-back comeback. But I know going into the grand finals of this, they want to probably try to stay even, or if not, take the lead on them. Because if they do go down many points, I believe some of these chapters towards the end might be a little bit more challenging to make a comeback due to the length of the campaigns or the chapters as well. So, you know, if you're going to have to walk, let's say it takes 5 minutes to get to the safe room, take hits, if you have to run back for a tank, it's going to be really hard with this high quality players hold onto that health bonus and get in there with anything more than a couple hundred points, if you ask me, in my opinion. So they're going to try to sway from that last 2 weeks of being behind rails and see if they can keep ahead. But it's going to come down to this early tank.
Did you see that?
Decision.
We had someone named
sucks.
Aquilix Venom. I didn't know that Venom was an Australian player, and I didn't know he had iPad's avatar. That is a funny match like your tank versus Envy. I don't know where the I don't know where the specifics of that are from, but like I guess he's talking about is he talking about RBT5? He might be talking about RBT5. I'm not sure. But anyway, with that good sportsmanship being joined from Spectator there, I do expect to see a fairly even game on this. From what we're seeing though here, MK, it would appear that Skyrise might be trying to get VPNs just to lower the ping a bit more. Everyone's on red, but LA for AMP and the red, actually all of Team AMP are between 142 and 150 ping on tab, and then for Skyrise, they're between 162 and 203 for Innuendo, who is Intel Pentium gamer. He's definitely going to have the hardest time, but both these teams, I think, are really, really experienced on high ping. They've gotten through the tournament this entire way, and I would say that the biggest concern I would have going into it for Skyrise would just be on their survivor side, because there were a couple times, I think, on the Downpour match that hits outside of tank were able to do a whole lot of damage. But I like the fact they're running this lineup, and I like the fact that we are 7 out of 8 ready to send this live. So if anyone's just joining us right now, welcome to the grand finals of the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament. MK, we are 1 ready up from going live, and I do believe that after Venom reloads from this crash, we're going to be doing just that.
Indeed, you are correct. And actually, the opening attack that they're going to have to deal with is going to be a tri-cap with a boomer. There's going to be no hunter involved, so there's actually a possibility of a lot of separation when they come out of this safe room area. We shouldn't see a fast attack due to there being no spitter, so probably going to hit right when they come out. So this is actually not a bad attack rails as far as getting like a 1 or 2 boom and landing a tri-cap. It could be absolutely devastating, but again, with a high level play like this, it's usually unlikely, but you never know what the infected could try to break out. Maybe they've been practicing this chapter or this map the whole time. The infected team going first, so I'm actually really excited. And he just came back, rails, so should be going live any second. And as soon as it does, we're gonna get this going.
Exactly, and AMP have been in that winner's bracket of the top 16 here the entire time. So if there's ever a time for them to continue that streak, it is going to be right here for a best of 1 game. It's not the usual best of 2, which some people are used to seeing from that top 16, where the team that wins the winner's bracket has to lose twice in order to lose the tournament. It is just going to be this best of 1 from what I understand. And as soon as Razor and Venom are ready, we are going to be sending this live right away. As you mentioned, that first hit is going to be a 3-1 with that boomer, and I know it's kind of common knowledge that there are a bunch of tanks you don't want to get boomed on, but I honestly think the only way something calamitous happens on this fight is if they get boomed from like the gas station roof. So I think both Survivor teams are going to be quite aware of that. The Infected are going to be looking to do everything that they possibly can. The GLHF is coming out. We are going to be sending this live extremely soon, and this is honestly Team Amp's game to lose to start, I would say, but let's see if Skyrise can pull that upset. Grand finals of the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament are live right now. Team Amp on the Survivor side, Team Skyrise on the Special Infected, and as we kind of expected, MK, we're going to see Amp playing this extremely slow as they need to, with Nick, that being lost, still on the roof, only dropping down right now, probably watching that spawn from behind them. Team Amp pushing their way outside. Smoker and Boomer both spawning. Nice double boom going out and a double charge with the jockey going in onto Ellis with that Smoker pull. This is an incredible first hit by Team Skyrise. Oh my goodness, MK, they are starting this in style.
Beautiful 2-boom stumble with the 2 charge. Jockey and the Smoker unfortunately grab the same target, but Rails, if you're opening up this attack starting this tournament finals, look at that 22% off the health bonus in the first attack. If you are the infected team, you're starting this with a lot of momentum on your side. The next attack coming up is going to be a Boomer, Charger, Spitter, and a Hunter. So they have the 2-2 coming up into this next section right here, Rails.
Exactly, MK, and they are going to have one more hit before this tank spawns. For Team Skyrise on the Special Infected, it's Krycha, Frey, Intel Pentium Gamer, aka Innuendo, and Venom. Who do we have for Team Amp, MK?
We have Law, Sentimental, CTU, and Razor. We have the attack coming in. The Boomer is going to get popped. Hunter is coming in. He does manage to get 11 DP. The Spit follows it. The Charger tries to get a stumble, but is not going to get it. But they also do kill the Spitter as he was getting up for a little bit of spit damage, but that will be it. It will be the first tank of the game for Skyrise in the hand of Venom. And quick note on this, Rails, 2 attacks took 33% of the health bonus before the tank was up, and 1 pill's popped.
I was just about to say, I don't think you could have asked for a better start on the Special Infected side for Team Skyrise. Even with that slight ping disadvantage, their hits have been so in sync. And aside from hitting some kind of miracle 3-cap, right, which they almost did on that first hit with that double charge, this is a fantastic start. Nobody has to pop pills yet, so the tank isn't going to be looking to play long, I don't think. But Venom is going to be working his hittable in from the other side of the map here. He has to be careful on his frustration, and the other thing he has to be careful for is if Amp can tell that he's low rage and that he's hitting just a hittable somewhere, they could run on that right-hand side just away from him. Single boom is going to go out, and I would be really careful here if I'm Skyrise, because this tank is already down to 75% second pass, and he's really not that close, believe it or not.
No, he's not, and he's actually having a little bit of a trouble with, okay, it's now in, Rails, but he is dangerously low, down to 35%, 30%, and dropping, so this is going to be the commit. He's going to have a Jockey, Smoker, and a Hunter as his support, so this will be tri-cap with no Boomer. The tank is down just about 800 health. He misses a punch on the tank there. Hunter's making a little bit of noise up on top of the safe room. The car is now splitting the survivors. He whiffs his first punch. Jockey and the Smoker land on the same target, unfortunately. Hunter's going in. Smoker misses. Pounce does land, but the tank's going to take it. Lands a rock, gets a punch. Smoker goes in. This might be it for the tank. Gets another punch, and that is it, Rails.
On that, it's a decent damage spread, and I do actually think Rochelle gave him a bit more damage than he might have gotten if they had just stayed away from the tank. But that hittable, that green hatchback, really wasn't working for Venom on that. They got the boom originally there just to get a little bit of common pressure in, but that 3-cap wasn't able to set him up for anything huge. If he had managed to keep the car in his control, he might have been able to hit the Hunter with it, but the Hunter target with it, rather, but instead, that's going to be 1 in-cap-ish going out onto Team Amp as they move their way forward. Really, without even taking it down there, actually, I think Amp have to be pretty happy with that, just as they're now going to be facing another hit. Let's see if Skyrise can keep that momentum going on the Special Infected side. Charger, Jockey, Spitter, and a Boomer for this next hit, and there are lots of rocket spawns here, MK.
Yes, there are. It looks like they already want to come from the top. That has the Charger and the Jockey hiding up there. Boomer's probably going to try to make a play on the car alarm. Looks like they're repositioning here, but Survivors are going to take this very cautiously. A little bit of baiting coming out here as Rochelle's taking the lead. 2 shotguns, 2 Uzis. They're going to go in. They just hold S to back up. They do manage to land the charge. Oh, the car alarm does go off and spit onto Rochelle. So after the first tank is killed in 1 attack after the tank is killed, Rails, 39% HP, damage bonus is already down 26%, and Coach is falling behind pretty bad right now.
Indeed he is, and you know what? There's going to be another hit coming up pretty soon. This high ping car alarm thing is not the situation Team Amp were looking for, but the spawns are coming into queue now as Amp are trying to work their way forward. They're going towards the bridge. Smoker Pull's going to go back. Nice DP, though, going out from that Hunter onto Ellis. The spit, though, was just a bit over, but then this charge is going to go in, landing onto Razor. Insta-clear on the tongue. MK, Skyrise are fighting with all they've got here on this first map on Special Infected side, and honestly, I'm impressed with their play so far.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of damage. That attack was a little broken, but due to the car alarm coming in, they did manage to salvage and get quite a bit of damage. Hopefully no one gets hit by this propeller if this helicopter, I don't know where it is. It's still flying around, but
I think you mean hopefully someone does get hit by the propeller.
But right now, health bonus at 24%, damage bonus 67%, and the pills are already gone.
Indeed they are. That hit's going in. Nice double cap, though, and a double boom going out. That jockey doing a lot of damage, and there's the smoke into a triple boom proxy from that boomer there. Again, nice hit by Skyrise. 2 survivors permanently slow. Coach and Rochelle are going to be bleeding out. This is really interesting now for Team Amp because they're going to still have to hold out this event horde at the very end of the map. Skyrise, though, still just throwing these hits in at the right time, and I think they're due a charge spit now, which could do a whole lot of damage as the survivors are working through this next choke point, just because they don't have as much to move back and forth on the ground. It's a Hunter boomer charger and a spitter, so wall kick potential plus that charge spit. Hunter, though, is going to get shot in the face and blown out of the sky then by Sentimental for Team Amp, but the charge is going to go in, going to get cleared as well. They're going for this quad cap, a little bit of spit damage MK, but that's all they got for that hit.
Yeah, unfortunately the Hunter got picked, being a little aggressive there when the other spawns were quite ready. Team Amp did slow down a little bit, was probably the right thing to do there, just clear out the commons from that car alarm, as they did clear the SI attack and pressing forward to get to the playground area. But this could be very dangerous if you're slow right now, and they're slow, so this Vendo event can be very dangerous. Actually, they're going to go with the quad attempt now. They get a pull in the back. It doesn't land. The jockey gets cleared right away. Hunter gets cleared immediately when landing. Charger misses, but the pull does get a few more ticks at the end, and that wasn't too bad. I mean, they got some more damage rails that took the bonus almost down to 200 points even, but I think there's only about 2 or 3 more attacks. But this, like I said, this event right here can be very devastating to slow survivors if they cannot get to the area where they want to set up.
Exactly, and on those last couple hits, we saw the Charger really not able to do a massive amount of damage. They had that charge spit hunt on the hit before the one we just saw, right? And the Hunter got deleted before he could even really wall kick, and the Charger, if he had charged short, would have gotten something. I expect to see them try to be a little bit more precise with those hits as we go forward here. Hunter in the back, though, going for this wall kick on to Ellis after the spit had already gone down. They're actually going to be killing the spit last. They're going to be looking for a quad attempt in this tunnel, and as you can see, because that wall in the back is now open, Nick, in the hands of Law, is going to be going back there and blocking the entire way. It is pretty easy to shut things down there so long as the SI don't have any spawns behind the survivors, but with 2 survivors in full bleed and only 1 set of pills, Team Amp have to be really, really careful about this because any hit now could wipe them theoretically.
Yeah, I probably would have kept the spitter for this area. It's going to be hard to land a quad, but they're going to send it in. Hunter's coming from way far away. The smoker lands but gets an in cap. There's going to be another in cap actually. Pull goes out onto Ellis but gets cleared, so they do manage to get 2 in caps here, Rails, and that health bonus is almost completely gone, and the damage bonus probably should be very low after they get these pickups as well. They found pills. They found pills.
Indeed they did, but this being 1.9.16, I think they're going to try to get out of the tunnel here before the next hit is up. Because those spawn timers are shorter, right, Nick is going to have to walk his way to the back just to try to get that block. The common are still just pouring in from this tunnel. 374 points so far for Amp. They're going to be killing the spitter, it would seem, as well, as the spit goes down onto Rochelle, who is now going to be knocked down. Once again, that's going to put Sentimental black and white, and that's also probably going to have either a quad or a strong tri-cap before the survivors make their way all down this tunnel to the safe room. It's going to be really close, and I think they're going to try to hold W as much as possible, but even if they make it MK, they've only got 91 bonus to their names.
Yeah, there's practically nothing. It's just a little bit of health bonus on 2 of the survivors. Some DB left on the other. They're actually going to go in right now. Pole's going to come from behind. Boomer gets popped. Jockey's trying to make his way in. Gets M2'd for his troubles. And the Hunter's going to try to get a DP, but gets nicely defeated. And that should be the round for Amp making the safe room. Let's see, with a total of 80 bonus. So their first chapter score, Rails, is going to be 480 after the first map. That I thought they would get a little bit higher than that, but Skyrise right now is having great infected play attack, so right now they have the opportunity to take the lead, so let's see what they can do as they go to the Survivor round.
Exactly, and even worst case scenario here, knock on wood for anybody who is rooting for Skyrise, even if they wiped on this tank, it would still be an extremely close game. I really think the difference in this game, though, is going to be how Team Skyrise Survivor side matches up against Amp Special Infected. Just because, with the amount of experience that Amp have and the experience playing on ping, when you're on ping, it can be really hard to land on Special Infected side, but if you're a team that has made it all the way to the Grand Finals, your cohesion, your chemistry on SI is going to be the most important factor for you. And the pings are actually evening out decently here, but still with that red ping, you can't afford to let the SI get these close spawns without, you know, being pretty cautious, backing up, trying to focus things down as a team. Let's see if Skyrise can do that on the Survivor side. They have a pretty Survivor side tank once again at this 45%, and also once again this first is going to be a Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Boomer, this time for Team Amp.
Yeah, so looks like Team Skyrise might come out the side door. Looks like they're repositioning to actually go out the front as well. Let's see if they're going to rush out with all their survivors like Team... Actually, they're going to make a beeline for the back, and the Infected were not ready for it. That was a great play by Skyrise. They successfully got outside. There's no spawns above them where they cannot see at this moment. So I think that was a pretty good play for them taking that as the spawns are frantically trying to find something. Boomer and Smoker completely out of position. I think they might be able to get out of here if they just hold W real quick here, and they'll be out in the open.
Got to be careful about this Boomer, though, who is exactly right above them at this time. But there's the Charger landing after the Jockey got cleared, but the Charger does not get a slam, as the Smoker is also being pushed by Frey just a bit. And actually, a repull is going to go out onto him as he's separated from his team. He was trying to get that Smoker frag, but instead is going to give up just a bit more damage. This first tank as well for Team Amp is going to be up into the hands of La very, very shortly, but a nice take by Skyrise compared to what they did on their first SI hit. Let's see if Amp can make up the difference here on the second attack with this Hunter, Spitter, Jockey, and one other spawn in just a couple seconds.
And it'll be up at any moment, but right now they took 7% off the health bonus on first attack. So Skyrise have taken it a little bit better, but let's see what happens after the second attack, as it was in the 30% range of damage. We do have a Hunter pre-spawned right up on the side. Spitter is standing next to him. Charger and Jockey are finding a different location to spawn at. Jockey from behind, Charger's going up on the hill. Hunter's going to try to grab the Survivor in the front. It manages to. The Spit goes on it as well. The Charger's not going to get a stumble. It's just going to get melted, and that's the second attack down rails and 10% damage. So right now, Skyrise is doing a better job on taking these infected attacks, and like you said, it will be the first tank of the game for Team Amp in the hands of La.
Spawns pretty decently away from the survivors as well. That Spit is going to die as the survivors are making their way back. Just a bit of chip going out. Decent damage spread onto Skyrise so far for what the SI have done. But the biggest thing is going to be, can La either get the second hittable in play, or can he make better use of that hatchback than we saw Skyrise do on their special infected side? The Smoker is trying to trail the survivors a bit as that one boom does go out, but it really shouldn't be that bad for the survivors. They're going to have enough time to clear, and probably enough time to get themselves completely set up the way they want to prior to this tank getting in. That Smoker being pre-spawned in front, I don't think is also... I don't think that's a good thing for the SI. I kind of want a Smoker here, so we either see him stay alive or he's going to get killed by the tank pretty fast. With this second pass, though, already, it's going to be this separation tri-cap going in. Smoker, Hunter, and Jockey as La is getting this other car in position. He's going to have both hittables. Survivors playing back near the gas station. They don't have to worry about being boomed, but I don't think they know that. This is going to be the commit with the tank going in, with that hatchback bouncing off the police car. Let's see if he's able to get a corner at all, but that's a nice punch going out with both Coach and Nick getting hit there. Tank, though, down to under 2,500 HP, trying to push Rochelle back, but Kreitzer doing a good job of juking him, as we do have this car going out with a Smoker pull in front. Tank getting good damage onto Coach, and there's the in cap going out. That is going to be all that Tank has, though, MK. Decent damage going out, nice hittable play, but Skyrise still have the bonus to take a lead on this map so long as they make the save room.
Yes, they do manage to survive. They have popped all their pills except one set to save fast. Their bonus right now is currently sitting at 387, so they lost almost about 50% of the health bonus and about just shy of 40% of the damage bonus after that tank. And of course, you know, when the tank goes in, it's usually a 2-2, which will be a Charger and a Hunter. As the cappers, Hunter already gets skeeted. Charger is not even spawned. He's going in now. He goes for a Hail Mary, charge off the top, gets shut down. Spitter comes in at the end. And that'll be the attack shut down rails. Pretty much nothing went out there. Just some one boom. No cappers do any damage.
Sometimes those long charges work, sometimes they don't. I think there's a less percentage of them working in a match of this caliber, but you never know with those spawns on SI what exactly is going to happen, especially when the map is a custom map like this and people don't have as much experience playing. I like the pace right now, though, from Skyrise as they're just Wing forward. It's going to be a Boomer, a Hunter, Jockey, and a Smoker, so they have to make sure they don't get boomed, and then they should be able to deal with those other pinners. No Charger, no Spitter, and a pretty favorable area for the Survivors. Kreitzer in that position 1 with Shoddy is going to get proxy boomed there, as the Survivors now are going to be working their way forward. And Amp, honestly, MK, they could either hit right now or they could save. Looks as though that Hunter's going to be trying to go for some kind of DP. Getting shot, though, and already dealt with Little bit of desynchronization right now for Team Amp. They do have 2 spawns left, and maybe they want that charge spit for inside.
And they're not going to have it, Rails. They're going to be able to traverse through this whole house, probably without a spitter if they just hold W. They still have about 4 seconds going. I think they might get it, so I don't know they're going to know. They're actually going to make it. Charger's going to go get the charge. The spitter was not ready, and the spitter is not going to get the spit, Rails. They're going to get the clears.
Ooh, but that's a lot of damage going out onto Innuendo, aka Ellis there, just from almost a free spit and a jockey, so they managed to make something out of nothing because the Charger was already dead, as you mentioned, and now we are seeing the spit get saved by Team Amp. It's become a popular strategy as this helicopter crashes directly next to Team Skyrise. I don't think the Propeller of Doom is going to hit anyone, unfortunately, for those watching, but at the same point in time, we have a single boom going out. Delay spit did go, and they have a Charger and a Hunter once again on the SI side, looking to get good damage off of this. Hunter bouncing around from the top of the cliff, trying to go for a DP, and he's going to land it onto Ellis once again. So Innuendo is going to get in-capped from those last 2 hits, MK. That's good damage from Amp.
Yes, it is. That's going to be... It's only his first down, though. It was their second survivor with 1 in-cap. They're going to try to delay this pickup. They're going to get a pull that gets cleared right away, but they're just trying to keep him up inside this area to probably get another hit. The spit was short there, so they're going to be able to get the pickup. Still 2 seconds between the next spawn, and it's going to be a jockey and a boomer right now, so I don't think they're going to go on their own. We should see them resync probably when they start this event, because if they can't get inside that tunnel, Rails, it can be very dangerous for survivors to be caught out here during a panic event.
Survivors have to be super careful at the same time as well, just because that back wall is breakable, I think, by both SI and Common. So if Team Amp are set up for this, they can hit them before they get inside, and that's exactly what they're doing. Hunter and Jockey both landing, quad boom going out, charge going in onto Krycha, who is the last permanent HP, getting charged completely away, and the Jockey's going in as well. Everything is down to Innuendo, and this is looking like a wipe just by the fact the SI knew the survivors are going to be going to the one spot that's good. This is going to be Team Amp taking just over a 100-point lead on this first map in the grand finals. Great SI play to have that Charger just kind of waiting around the corner, not even letting them get set up, and that is going to be the smoker pull going out onto Krycha with a jockey after that. Great special infected play by Amp MK, and that wipe happened in a split second almost.
Yeah, this is like we just said before they started this event. Getting stuck outside and not making it into the tunnels can be very dangerous, and as you can see, it ended up with them getting wiped. Fortunately enough for Skyrise, that they didn't make it with a high bonus, so right now they're only down 104 points, so that's really nothing when it comes into Left 4 Dead 2. So we still have 4 more chapters to go, Rails, so anything can happen from this point.
On map 1 as well, I think it's important for both, like, this is both teams getting adjusted to the server, getting adjusted to the ping, and the person who's gonna be maybe the easiest target is Innuendo, just because of the fact he has a bit higher ping than the rest of the people in the game. He's got like 40 or 50 more, and that does make a difference here, especially in a grand finals when it's over 200 like that. I don't think it's going to hurt Skyrise SI play that much, but they have to be careful just because any single weakness they can find, Team Amp are going to try to exploit. Let's see if they need to change this at all, but I don't think they do. 71% is a late tank, and MK, I'll say this, of the places I've seen survivors get damaged a lot by SI, this map 2 here can be devastating, especially when the survivors are trying to hold out an event on high ping. If they can get 1 or 2 in-caps on Skyrise's side, I think they'll be extremely happy with that, but of course they're going to be planning for that wipe before we even get close to that tank.
Yes, indeed, and right now the opening attack they're going to have to deal with is quite dangerous for this area. There's a lot of trees around, a lot of commons can get in here. It's going to be a retro attack accompanied by the Charger. So there is a good possibility for a lot of damage to go out here. They're not going to have the spit, but I think to this wide open here, Rails, I've seen people get boomed here, and just a devastating tri-cap can go out with all these things blocking your views, all these bushes and trees out here. It could be very devastating to the survivors, and look at how they're going to take this very cautiously. They're going to be going 2 shotguns, 2 Uzis, kind of standard. And we're going to see a little baiting going on here, probably close to single digits on the timer. It's already going down to about 11. Attack's going to go in. Pull misses, unfortunately. The charge misses. A 1 boob does land with a fist going out at the end. And that will be the attack shutdown. Minimal damage on the board, Rails. Only 2% chipping in after that opening attack.
Much better take by Team Amp this time off of that first hit. As you saw above, there are a lot of rocket spawns the SI can use. But the survivors did a good job of ghosting their way out. They know exactly how to use that baiting timer and then go forward before they get punished for it. And Skyrise now are going to be trying to get a bit more damage just before they start this first event that we're going to see. It's going to be a Smoker, a Spitter, a Hunter, and a Jockey for Skyrise. Again, trying to use those rocket spawns as much as possible. This time the Hunter's going for a wall kick that he has not been able to find, but he does manage to land the pounce onto Rochelle. Spit is going to go down, but it's a little bit late. Smoker pull goes out onto Coach, and it's just a game of seconds there, MK, between having a bit more damage on that Spit and Rochelle being able to work her way out of that before any real damage was done.
Yeah, it's another 3% on the bonus, so the Skyrise's 2 opening attacks managed to take 5% off the bonus, so they will probably want to get it together a little bit, but for granted, hitting there without a Spitter and a Charger in that open area is kind of a little difficult with the attacks that they had. But right now, they're going to be having to take this event. There is one room banned, which they're not going to be using it, so they're probably going to take it right here at this truck, which I've seen also, Rails, has potential for a lot of damage right here.
Really can be, especially with this hit. Spitter, Charger, Boomer, and a Hunter for the SI. I think they might be trying to get a quad here at some point as well. Charger's going to go in, not going to find the land, however, but the pound Spit is going to go down. Hunter dying second, Spitter going to die last, so that is going to guarantee the quad. Boomer really didn't get much of anything. It's actually probably better that he didn't, because if he'd gotten a 1-boom, that would have been the survivors acting sort of like a pipe bomb in that scenario, but instead now we're going to have the common still going out onto all of the survivors. The key thing that Skyrise are looking for here, MK, is they want Amp to get hoarded, and then they want to send everything in that they possibly can to maybe get this quad before they go inside. What is going on? They're F1ing something, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think they are going to get another caster, and that's what it is. So we're going to be joined by someone. I'm not exactly sure who it is. Could be Susan. Not 100% sure. But now we're going to be seeing the round go live again. There's the Smoker pull going out. Charger going in. Getting a double charge. Oh my god. Where is Nick? Nick is literally just getting launched over onto that hill as we have this devastating double cap still going in. He's going to be forced to walk back around the wall. That was a tremendous amount of damage, MK, and that was almost a wipe.
Is that classified as a death? He's out of bounds.
Is he out of bounds?
I don't think he can get back over.
I don't...
It's invisible walls. Is that classified as death?
Dude, alright, I'm gonna say this now. I've admin a fair amount of tournaments in my time, but I am not the tournament admin here. I don't know exactly what this classifies as, and now there's gonna be an attempt at a restart vote. I guess they're just gonna restart the chat. Dude. Wow. I have not seen that before. I didn't know it was possible to get punted out of bounds, but obviously he didn't die. That is so unfortunate for Team Skyrise. They had a beautiful hit like that, and I'm gonna be honest, if I was in their shoes, like, okay, it's not cool that someone gets punted out of the map, I agree with that, but that's not Skyrise's fault whatsoever. They had a massive hit there.
Yeah, I don't know if... in my opinion, I don't know what the rules are if you get hit out of bounds. I thought, at least back in the day when we were playing, but this was the wrong platform, it was ruled as if you got hit out of bounds, it was classified as a death. I don't know if it's classified as that in this tournament, but...
Oh yeah, I mean, this changes the entire flow of the game, obviously, especially now because the tank is at 23%. That round was looking heavily in Skyrise's favor just at the start. Granted, it's a pretty hard area for survivors to deal with on red ping with the horde constantly going in, but that's really, really unfortunate for Skyrise. They're probably just going to try to reset mentally, right, and have to try to get a lot of damage at this early tank. And if they manage to get a wipe, that would be amazing, but that's a huge opportunity, unfortunately, for Skyrise that they're not going to be able to get just because the map said that Nick is going up here, and it also said we're not going to let him back.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but either way, good sportsmanship by Skyrise, letting the restart come out. I don't know if I would have agreed with that. I might have paused and asked the admin's opinion, see what that rule would have been on that. But they're going to restart anyways. The ready up is gone. Hunter, Smoker, Charger, and a Boomer. I believe that's the exact same opening attack, which is kind of fortunate for them. Let's see if Skyrise can make it work a little bit better than it did the first time, as the bait timer has officially started. 25 seconds and counting.
Indeed, it has, and there we do have a cast going out from a crash, I should say, going out from one of the casters, but that's going to be inconsequential for the game. This Boomer's pre-spawn getting chipped, moving away, but the baiting timer is real right now for Team Amp. 10 seconds left on it, but now they pop the Boomer and make their way back inside to reset the baiting timer, chipping everything that they possibly can. Hunter's going to be going in, managing to land onto Ellis. Charger is not going to land, though. Less damage going out here. And now, MK, the most important thing, I think, for Skyrise is they're going to have to try to get everybody down to this 4-punch range. I would be very surprised if we see the survivors take this tank anywhere other than the safe room.
Oh, they back. Yeah, true, but they've split a little bit here. They're actually going to give another time. Oh, the tank's a little earlier. Okay, I missed that, Rails. Spitters is going to go into sack. And there's a Boomer and Jockey as the other two cappers, and they're actually going to go in now. Jockey's going to try to go in and get some damage. Actually lands a nice Jock. Gets a little bit of damage. Actually gets cleared pretty quickly. And a 1 boom going out onto Coach.
And you
might just go right in.
Yeah, I think he might try to, depending on if he can land this rock, but he's not going to land it. There's still Horde coming in, and the tank is going to be committing, getting a nice punch there onto Ellis, another punch going out onto Ellis, trying to spread the damage off of this body block, but he's getting shredded now. His support isn't even really up until now. Tank is down to under 500 HP, hits going in, Tank gets the in cap, and there's the triple cap! Oh my god!
Can he get the clear?
He's trying to get the pistol clear onto Rochelle, but he's not gonna get it. Skyrise is gonna wipe him. Okay, alright. Dead Before Dawn says restart the map. They do it, and the karma of good sportsmanship has Team Skyrise wiping Team Amp even before that event happens. Only 77 points for the favorite on map 2. MK, if you weren't hyped going into this for a potential upset for Skyrise, it is real as of now.
Oh my days, Rails. I agree with you, but how about that tri-cap with the tank? The tank is going in with that boom. Made what a play. He almost died. Actually, he did die as the tri-cap went out. So if you came to see some high quality infected plays, there you go. What a tri-cap to land with the commit. Now it is going to be Team Amp's turn to go as Survivor. Opening attack, Smoker, Boomer, Charger, and 100 Rails.
Indeed it is, and this is going to be Skyrise now on the Survivor side with a massive opportunity to take a lead here on map 2. If they are somehow able to make the safe room with any kind of bonus out, put them in a glorious position, but it's one step at a time, including this first hit, as you mentioned. Once again, though, I think we're probably going to see them try to fight it in the safe room. I think the decision by Innuendo to commit that and try to cut them off ended up being the right one, especially with that 3-cap landing. But if the Survivors are able to get set up back in that safe room, they can kill it pretty effectively from what I've seen. Nice double boom going out, though, for Team Amp to start this map, but the Survivors are going to work their way all the way back, and Krycha is going to be staying in that safe room. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see him stay there pretty decently long, just because they really can't afford to have anything coming from behind, and now he is going to be moving up with the rest of his team. It's going to be a full hit they're going to have to face right now, though. Smoker, Spitter, Charger, and a Hunter. Good amount of damage potential for Team Amp on this as the Smoker spawns forward. Hunter coming in as well, but they really can't get anything above the Survivors right now until that charge goes in, and that is going to be a Hunt, Charge, Spit with a smoke going out in front as well. Good damage on Innuendo and Krycha so far, MK, but they still have at least one Survivor who's 5 punches.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, at this current moment, as long as Fredo don't take damage, they'll have 2. That is 5. Actually, no, he just took 1 damage, so now they're down to Survivors that aren't going to be 5 punches except for 1. So right now they're holding the S key. They're going to try to get back into the safe room before the tank can cut them off. And the tank's trying to take high ground, but I don't think they're going to get the cutoff rails. They're going to get back inside. As the attack's coming in, the jockeys try to go in, it's not going to land, and they get in safely.
This is really, really big now for Skyrise, because they can body block in this safe room pretty effectively. Obviously, the SI could spawn in that bathroom, but Krycha's going to stay there as long as possible. And I'm sure on the Survivor side right now, they are trying to figure out who exactly is going to body block who here, as that Boomer is going to get shut down. I'm not sure if they're going to get a decent hit for the SI on this support, but we saw that Smoker work out for Team Skyrise on that special infected. Hunter and Charger are both really, really good here. Razor with this tank is going to be trying to avoid as much ship as possible, because as we saw, it really can come down to that last amount of health that a tank has. He's going to be rolling with this, though. He's on 30%-ish second pass, and by the time he gets in there, the Survivors are going to be railing him down this entire hallway. Smoker pre-spawns, not quite able to find anything, as the tank's going to go and getting initial punch onto Krycha. SI support starting to come in, though, because he's already down to under 1k. It's the same kind of situation. There's the double cap going out. That's going to be the Smoker getting a pull to the side. Tank going for these multi-punches, but there's the clear finally going out from Innuendo. It's 2.5 downs, MK, and Skyrise look poised to take the lead on this map.
Yes, they did. That was a great job of them managing to get some chip as he came down in there. Smoker tried to get early pull, but was unsuccessful. So right now they do survive. Health bonus is at 26%, damage bonus at 91, and most important, Rails, they still have 2 sets of pills, and they are all fast right now. Next attack, Jockey, Boomer, Charger, and a Spitter.
is going to be the hit going in as well. Double boom going out in the back. Charger landing too with a spit going down on top of that. Jockey is still alive, looking for something but not finding much yet. That's a good amount of damage going out onto Frey, and Amp's SI hits. I really do expect them to keep hitting with that kind of aggressiveness and that cohesion. It's now going to be on Skyrise to deal with this event and then work their way forward. It's almost a tie game here, just based off these distance points, and they also found another set of pills, MK, so they're going to be fast for this.
Yeah, indeed, you are correct. The next attack is going to be a retro attack with the spitter, so it's going to be a 2-2 and probably the second worst attack they can get, but seeing high infected play teams like this, they're going to make it work. Looks like the Boomer's going to try to get a boom inside of that the pickup box van right there. Hunter is going to pre-spawn on top of the mall building, I guess it is. Smoker's going to try to get a pull from behind. He's pre-spawned at the moment, trying to psych out the survivors. Hunter's already being chipped up the top. I don't think he's going to land. Pull goes out. Triple boom lands. The Hunter does land with a spit following it, but Coach is able to get out of it before any significant damage goes out. Health bonus right now at 420 Rails, at a very respectable number right now, if you do ask myself.
They have to be super careful here on Survivor's side just because Frey is that low. He has 6 permanent HP that he's working with. 2 other survivors are going to be having to pop pills at the same time if they want to remain fast. Oh my god, they're inside the box! The Kree spit! Are they gonna die? They're gonna die! What? I didn't even see what was happening. I didn't see Skyrise go inside the box truck. It's a 14-point game. This has been one of the wildest matches I've seen. I literally can't believe what I just saw. I literally refuse to process in my brain that they went inside the box truck and just got spit to death, but that's what happened.
I am clueless why they would do that.
What is going on?
Why would you go in there when the spitter is alive?
I think they went in there because they thought it was a quad. I'm almost 100% sure that's why they did that, because there's no other rational reason why they would go in to a spot that has the least amount of space possible with survivors who are in bleed. I said they would have to pop pills to stay fast with at least 2 of them during that event. I wasn't expecting them to just die randomly there, but that brings us to
restart.
a...
You gotta restart.
We gotta restart already, yeah, exactly, because obviously Spitter is OP, please nerf, but we have 14 points separating these 2 teams. Emperor gonna be on the survivor side first. It's a late tank, and something I will say here, MK, is that there is a massive choke coming up with this button that they have to press. Right, when they hit that button, it really is going to be happening with the most pressure I think the SI could put on them, because there's a massive horde that comes streaming through that wall doors. We're restarting because of a toilet, and now I don't know if Vanel has SMD restart bound, but let me tell you, one of the reasons why I bound it was because of this campaign. There are a whole lot of features that we see coming into play here. I'm not sure if the toilet merits a respawn, but at this point, you know, with how this Grand Finals is going, and with how just unpredictable it's been, I'll say 2 things. 1, it's anybody's game, and 2, anything could happen.
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, Skyrise did get wiped by making a little bit of a misplay, but the game is still tight. So right now they're just going to have to clear their minds, get the morale back up, because that might be a little demoralizing having that happen to you. So they got to look at it as this. They're only down by like 15 points, which is absolutely nothing. There's still 3 chapters, and if you can play your SI right on this map right here, it could be devastating on the button. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with their SI. There's going to be 1 at a time. Try to delay that button hit here, Rails. I'm curious to see how they're going to take it. And the opening attack that they're going to have to deal with is actually going to be a Hunter, Jockey, Charger, and a Spitter, which could be a lot of damage on this opening hit here, Rails.
Indeed, it could be. We are going to be playing 1 through 5, from what I understand, so we are not even halfway through this game. And now we've readied up, and now they throw the toilet out into the street to officially start, not the street, into the rest of the mall to start the rest of this map off. There is going to be that Hunter, Charger, Spitter combination. Amp are probably going to be wise to it. They're going to clear as much common as possible as they work their way out. They are defending one of the slightest leads that I think we've seen in the tournament so far. Let's see if they can do a good job on Survivor here and shut this down. Frey is going to have the tank for Team Skyrise at 52%. That's going to be after this event as well, so let's see exactly how much damage Skyrise can get out on this. 17 seconds left on the Bane timer as the survivors are working their way forward. This is probably going to trigger the hit in just a couple of seconds, but the SI are being very, very patient, knowing that that baiting timer is still going down to about 5 seconds. Amp have to be real careful here with where they're standing. Charger's going to be going in, trying to find a land. We are going to be getting a horde with a pounce stick going out because of this first hit. The madness continues, MK, and here come the common infected already.
Oh my day. So the event is triggered, 12% damage on the opening attack without the Charger landing, so it's pretty good damage. Charger going to get a respawn. Bonus is at 88% right now. They're going to try to rush over to get ready to start this event, which, let's see here, Rails. Let's see how far they can keep this going. The attack that they're going to have is a Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Boomer. Unfortunately, I'd kind of like a Spitter here to maximize the damage, but they're about to start this event, and it's going to be very interesting to take. And wait, what happened?
Apparently they're saying you can't stand on the actual switch. Yeah, I guess because that would make it really, really hard to hit the survivors that way. The thing is, they have to spend a lot of time holding that button as the rest of the hit is going to look to come in, but Amp are doing a really good job of blocking the spawns, and they actually might just be giving it to Razor right here. Charger's going to go in, trying to delay the button once more. Jockey is going to get shut down. Boomer gets a single boom onto Rochelle, who is right by that button as the common are streaming in. Also, fun fact, if you go outside at all there, you do die, and you also apparently can get proxied through that glass. Nice take, though, to get that button started. There's going to be a lot of horde going in now, MK, and Amp are going to fan out to try to get as much crowd control as they can without getting stumbled or common locked.
Indeed, you're correct. Smoker, Hunter, Spitter, and waiting for that last pawn to come up in about 1 more second, and it is going to be a Charger. So they do have a charge spit for the next attack. Right now, they're sitting at 83% of their bonus. They managed to 17 off with the 2 opening attacks. Hunter's going to be pre-spawned from behind, actually taking a little bit of damage through the wall as the Charger and Spitter are looking for their spawn, about ready to send it in any moment. Or I'm not sure. Hunter's going to respawn. Okay, I guess they're just going to wait.
This is interesting. That first hit did a decent amount of damage, but the last couple hits have been a little discombobulated on Skyrise's side. In terms of the momentum, it's still an extremely close game, but I think Amp might have the upper hand just slightly right here as the SI are looking to spawn in one of these vents, but it's going to be difficult with the survivors paying attention to it as well as Amp just did. That's going to be the Hunter, the Charger, and the Smoker all getting shut down with just the Spitter left. This is nice survivor play from Amp. I think they might have gotten together just a little bit more on Survivor's side after those first couple maps, and especially after that White Blast chapter. I would like to see a bit more damage going out onto them, MK, before this tank spawns if possible.
Yeah, I agree. Right now they're sitting very the bonus is sitting at 1,361. They're going to like to keep the Spitter and the Boomer together with a Jockey and a Hunter for potential to get some pounds and maybe stumbles in the spit. This is 1.9. The free spit damage will do a lot more than 2.2 right now. So curious to see exactly where they're going to send this. As survivors right now are taking this very cautiously. Actually, they're going to send a free spit out first. Interesting.
This tank's going to be up in the hands of Frey. I think the thinking on Skyrise's side is that the survivors are going to have to open this door to the pawn shop on the left, but they have not yet done so, because I think it does trigger just a bit of horde if they do that. The Jockey's going to die, and the third tank of the game is up for Team Skyrise into the hands of Frey himself. Boomer is going to go in and get a single boom onto Ellis as the tank might be looking to even roll with that, and indeed he is. Charger and a Hunter for the support from Team Skyrise as the tank is working his way in. Lots of room, though, for the survivors to move here, but there's the corner going out onto Ellis. He is also the boom survivor. The tank is under 2k. He gets the punch before the pill pop goes out. Hunter's going to go out in the back. Charger, though, is going to whiff. Frey is going to die with just that one in cap. That's the second map in a row that the SI have decided to send in the tank with a boom MK on Team Skyrise's side. Not as effective this map as it was last map.
No, it was not. They do manage to kill the tank. They do take 1 in cap, so they do pop that set of pills. They'll still have 2 sets for the rest of the map, and right now their bonus is sitting at 997, and they are 60% of the way through the map already. And the next attack is usually going to be a 2-2, which it will be with the Jockey and the Hunter. They do still have this event to hold out, which could take a little bit of time, so they'll get a hit or two here. But for the most part, it's going to be very hard to get a lot of damage. Hunter looks like he's going to come from the top. He's trying to land. He's probably going to get skidded. He's unsuccessful to land. Jockey gets M2'd for his trouble. Boomer's just going to go into stack. Manages to get a 1 boom. Free spit gets nothing. And now they'll be coming up with a quad attempt during this event.
This is something where I think the impact, right, even though it wasn't too amazing for Team Amp point-wise last map for what happened as it did, right, I think mentally speaking, Amp are in a little bit of a better place right now than Skyrise, just based on how this map is going. It's a pretty survivor-sided map after you deal with the event, and since they've already killed the tank, that's going to give Amp a lot of opportunities on Special Infected to make a lot of plays on the next half. Skyrise just have to keep going one hit at a time, trying to get the best that they can here. Charger and Hunter are going to collide, though, with the same survivor who got pulled. That quad attempt is going to result in a momentary 2-cap, but I do believe most of the damage from that Charger and Hunter were canceled out just because they went for the same target.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Their bonus was at 989 before that attack. They managed to take it down to 952. I mean, for granted, it is hard to land a quad cap in that area. The commons are very difficult to get in there as they come from the outside of that building mainly. So they have this whole length of this mall just to chip them before they get there. It looks like they're going to go in again. Hunter, Charger, Spitter, and a Boomer. Charger's actually going to land, but the spit is late. It is going to get a little bit of ticks onto Ellis. But I don't know if that spit was a little bit earlier. That might have been a lot more damage there, Rails.
In terms of the sack orders so far, I really do think Skyrise are trying for these quads as much as possible. It's kind of like the Pubstar / Frag 4 strat of every hit's going to be either a 2-2 or a quad, 2-2 or a quad, depending on the sack order. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be effective for them in an area like this, just because it is such close quarters. If you keep a spitter, you can get a lot of shard spit and a lot of pound spit opportunities for this, even though it sounds counterintuitive. They're going to try the best they can to land this quad. Smoker's going to try to pull forward, getting it onto Coach. Jockey lands the intercept, and the Charger takes the pulled target for a bit of damage, and that's even more damage now going onto that damage bonus of Team Amp, knocking the total bonus down to 714, saying you can't, and I'm not exactly sure what they're saying you can't do. If anything, the mayhem of this map and of this match is going to continue unabated, MK, as we go forward. I'm not exactly sure what they weren't supposed to do, but there are so many little areas, especially on custom campaigns, despite the fact that it's been around for a few years, that you can have the survivors just cheese the Special Infected based on where they stand.
Yes, indeed. I think they jumped over some of the the shelving in there. I don't think you're allowed to. Hunter's going to go for a wall kick, unfortunately. It doesn't let him wall kick over that, and the Boomer is unsuccessful as well, leaving the Charger and the Spitter alone. Charger's going to go out and try to get a charge. He does land. It does set off the ATM alarm, but unfortunately, they're just going to be able to hold W, and I don't know if they're going to get another attack before they make the safe room rails.
This is going to be really, really important for Team Amp, because they are just going to pop that last set of pills, work their way towards the safe room. As those that don't know have seen already, these ATMs double as alarm cars, so if you shoot one of them, especially during a tank, it guarantees absolute bedlam. And this is now Team Amp gonna be giving themselves a bit of insurance against that. Beautiful chapter by them. 1,348 points. It was a 1-down tank. They took a bit of damage on the first SI hit right out of the safe room, but then after that, they were able to mitigate pretty much everything, including on that button choke that I think we're going to be seeing again. This is something where if the SI are able to get a really good hit when the survivors are going for the button, and like you said, they really do want a spitter for that. I honestly have seen high-level teams in best-of-1 games on Red Ping. Like, it's possible to wipe a team on that button. I'm hoping that doesn't happen for Skyrise's sake, but if there's one team on Special Infected side that can pull it off, I'm betting on Team Amp for that.
Yeah, This event can be very devastating. Like I said, I think Team Amp did it very well. They didn't have a spitter to deal with, and then fortunately Skyrise had 2 SI at the same time. You know, you want to do kind of just a kind of trinkle effect with those 14-second spawn timers. Try to keep going, and we are going to have it ready up here. The opening attack they have to deal with is going to be a Hunter, Spitter, Jockey, and a Charger. Let's see how long Skyrise is going to bait this, as actually Amp let the timer go down to 0 before they actually come out. We have our first pause.
Indeed we do. Obviously, the Left 4 Dead gods have smiled upon us by we only have our first pause on the second half of map 3. And like I said, there's still a lot of game to be played here, especially with map 4 and map 5. but Amp now have that ability where they don't have to worry about the fact they got wiped on map 2, they don't have to worry about what happened on map 1, they just have this lead that they've got from this chapter, and they're going to be able to play to their strengths at this point. Skyrise, the Survivor side, they did a good job dealing with the tank last map, and then we saw the box truck, I'm just going to say the box truck happen, because that's what that was. They had to just completely reset on Survivor side, play the way they like to play, take it at their pace, and try to get some of this momentum back. It starts on this first hit for them, as Amp are going to have Hunter, Spitter, Jockey, and a Charger for this. Lots of damage potential. Survivor's going to be cutting to the right-hand side. Hunter's going to land. Charger goes in. Not going to land, however, as the Pounce Spit is going to be what looks like the only damage from that first hit, MK. And now the moment of truth. What spawns are there going to be for this button choke?
I know one thing, Rails, they're not going to have a Spitter. The Spitter was the last thing to die, so right now Skyrise might have an advantage. There's going to be a Boomer coming after them with a Hunter, Smoker, and whatever that last cap is. It should be up any moment, and it's going to be a Jockey. So actually, this probably the best SI attack for them to deal with to do this if they're Skyrise. I think this is probably in their favor right now. They just got to manage to be able to close this event. This event is devastating. Smoker's in a good spot to delay with that pull without getting killed. They have started the event here. Jockey's going to go in. Jockey does land onto Ellis, gets cleared. That's only one SI send, and they got to start this event right away now. Hunter's going to try to come and get the wall kick. They do manage to stop. The Boomer gets it. Oh, there's the pull delay. Proxy 2 boom goes out. Hunter's doing a good job on just being very patient.
Oh no. Why are they having the boom guy with the most ping go for the button? I don't like this idea. Smoker pull is going to go out. They should be using one of the green survivors to hit the button while the other 2 survivors are boom, but they're not going to do it. Instead, they're going to keep trying to get this button pressed with Innuendo right there, but the Smoker's going to delay it once again. Oh, goodness gracious. This is a lot of Horde now who are going to be going on all of the survivors. They're going to try the button one more time. Hunter's going to be going in, landing onto Innuendo once again with a spit going onto this. Charger going for it as well. That's going to be the last spawn down. A good amount of chip damage going out onto the survivors. Innuendo going to be going for the button once again. This time I think they are actually going to have it, however. So Skyrise take a bit more damage there. It looked hectic for just a minute, but instead of having any catastrophic damage go out, it's just a nice job by Team Amp to take what Skyrise were giving them on SI side. Now they have another hit with Horde, as the tick rate of the server is taking the day off pretty much now.
Oh yeah, look at that. It pretty much is. Retro attack is up, accompanied by the Jockey. Spawns are up. They're electing not to go in at this current moment. Skyrise is just going to clear out the last bit of these commons, as I think they have just finished now. They're actually going to send the attack in now. Smoker gets cleared right away. Hunter gets skeeted. Jockey lands momentarily onto Coach. A pull goes out. Boomer tries to get something at the end, but that's going to be the attack shutdown. So far, Rails, they managed to get through the button. Health bonus at 67%. They just took a little bit more damage than Team Amp, but they are actually set right now. If they tank this tank very well, Rails, they could very well keep this game tied or might even take the lead. It's going to come down to the tank fight.
I've never noticed a side note that there was an ad for a real Zoe Love doll they just ran through. I have no idea how long that's been there, but Jesus, Left 4 Dead 2 is surprising you at every angle. Charger, Spitter, Jockey, and a Hunter for this SI hit. This is a really strong hit for an inside space, as most of us, I'm sure, are aware. Hunter, though, is going to go out, get M2, but the Charger's going to land onto Frey in the back with a Jockey going in as well. That's a lot of damage going out onto Ellis just because of that inside hit. Krycho was able to go forward, and he was able to get the M2 in the shutdown on the Hunter who was trying to wall kick, and the Charger took the intercept on that second survivor instead to guarantee the damage. It's a nice job by Amp so far, I'd say, MK, on SI side. Now this tank that's going to be up in the hands of CTU can do a whole lot of work in this area as well, I'd say.
Yes, indeed. Right now they do have a retro attack accompanied by the Charger. There is no Spitter right now. They do open that door to go in and grab different guns. They get the Magnum now. That's pretty important. So now they do have a survivor with the Magnum. That will be pretty big for this tank fight. Let's see if the SI try to rocket this Boomer in when it spawns. They try to get a pull early. There goes the Boomer. Nicely popped, though. The Smoker shut down as well. So they do not get the Boomer like Skyrise did when they went in. So the tank's probably going to hold for support. This will be the third tank of the game for Team Amp in the hands of CTU, Rails. And they have the Hunter Charger waiting for the last spawn to come up any second.
Probably looking for some kind of Room 3 cap on this, if I had to say, and this is exactly probably what he could want in this spot with that Hunter, Charger, and Jockey Only thing I'm looking at in terms of the Survivor side, we have Innuendo playing Nick, already popping his pills. Frey is going to also, I think, be 3 or 4 punches, but he's actually 3 punches right now, and Venom is as well, so that's not ideal for an inside area like the one we're about to see. These spawns are going to have to get shut down in short order because this tank is bleeding out Team Skyrise as much as he possibly can. CTU taking a bit of chip now, but he's going to be working his way in. Uzi doing a bit of damage already. Jockey pre-spawning in the front, but the Charger's going in for early support. He's going to die immediately as the tank has a door closed in his face. I am not sure what that was by Razor there, and now this tank is going to be in a spot where he's lost 1500 HP. He's very, very low on his second pass. He's going to be forced to go in before Razor has his spawn all the way up, missing his first punch onto Ellis as well. Hunter is going to land onto Kryche in the back as the tank is getting a corner onto Coach right now, but that Boomer is not going to be able to do a massive amount. Tank doing a great job, though, of spreading the damage. He's not going to get the in-cap onto Kryche, but honestly, great job by CTU there, plus the support that he had. I do not know why that Charger went so early, MK.
I'm not sure either. I know what he was trying to do, but there's no way you're going to land a charge on with teams that's high caliber right now at this moment. So good job by Skyrise on shutting that down. Right now their bonus is already lower than Team Amp, but right now they want to make the safe room alive and get these distance points as they still have 2 more chapters to make a comeback. The event's going to be started, and the next attack is going to be Charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Smoker coming in right now. Smoker tries to get a pull. It's unsuccessful. Charger and the Hunter both land. Spitter does land on to Nick as well for a little bit more damage, and all in all, Rails, tank is dead. Next attack down, bonus is sitting at 475, and the event is just started.
Indeed it is, and right now it's going to be about how well can Skyrise shut down these hits standing in this spot. Normally this is a pretty advantageous position for survivors to be in, but with 4 survivors in bleed, with 1 survivor in full bleed, this can be precarious for them just because they're going to have to focus the horde with the higher ping and then deal with these spawns that are going to be coming probably from directly above them. They don't really have a whole lot of room to dodge either in this spot, but that Charger is just going to charge directly against one of those modern art installations on the side of those that he's saying lag there for that. I mean, I don't know exactly what he was seeing on his screen, but probably not the same thing we were seeing. The important part about this is that Skyrise still have 467 bonus, and they're going to have to take the rest of this map slow. So if I'm Team Amp, I'm looking for pound spits, I'm looking for wall kicks, I'm looking for charge spits to really get this damage down after a quad like this. Hunter, Charger, Jockey, Smoker, MK for this area.
Yes, indeed, they're going to send it. Hunter looks like he's going to come from behind. They're going to send the in and now. Hunter gets skeeted. Jockey does get the in-cap. Charge actually does land, but it's cleared before a slam goes out. Jockey momentarily also lands onto Coach, but it is shut down as well. A pull goes in to delay the pickup, but it's cleared before any damage goes out. So all survivors are now up. Health bonus is sitting at 401, so they went through 3 attacks, Rails, and only managed to take 74 damage off their health bonus, which is pretty good. But right now they need all the bonus they can get. Nice M2 on the Boomer. Nothing going to go out. Hunter does manage to land. Spitter's going to be late. Wow, it takes a long time to clear that.
Yeah, that was a surprisingly slow clear, unfortunately, for Skyrise there. Charger's going to jump in, gets another in-cap onto Coach. Now the bonus is really being opened up. That's going to be a nice pick, though, on that Spitter. Dying last in that area, so they're going to get a 3-cap with Boom. I think that's not going to be amazing for Team Amp in this spot, but the important thing for them is that they got those 2 in-caps. This is 294 bonus total still left. It's a very, very small amount of health bonus and 75% DB. Pretty much everybody is a target at this point for Team Skyrise. They're not going to be jumping over the racks here at all. They're just going to be getting triple boomed and going into that corner. Smoker's going to die. Hunter goes in. Jockey is also right there looking for any kind of damage he can get, but the Boomer is going to die last. That's going to guarantee a charge spit for this next hit from Team Amp, and Skyrise had to keep Wing. MK, it's important that they make the map for those distance points and get a little bit of bonus, just because then that puts them still in striking distance on map 4 for potential turnaround.
And we have our second pause.
Indeed we do.
Second pause of the game coming out. Actually, that attack with the Boom landing looked like it should have did more, but actually they took very minimal damage from that attack. The clears were very nice, and actually if we go back, Rails, to the box truck incident, if that Spitter dies and they have a quad, that is a great play on staying inside there. It's actually very good. Yeah. It's very hard to land quads in such close quarters, but unfortunately, nobody called that they killed the Spitter. Everybody thought someone else killed it. So a little miscommunication as the ready ups are coming now, and we still have some spawn timers coming up right now. Nobody has their spawns up. First one's going to be a Charger. Second one is going to be a Spitter. Next one is going to be a Smoker, and the final spawn is going to be a Hunter. While the Charger's already going in for Fist, and they get another in cap, Rails.
Indeed they do, and there's a smoker pull going out as well onto Coach. I'm sure we're going to have to talk about that box truck even more, but, you know, hey, it's between a box truck and a porta potty for the best places to take a quad in a grand finals match. I'll say that, at least, from my casting career. Let's see if Team Skyrise are able to get this bonus into the safe room. They still have 225 bonus to their names, but the real important thing here is that Frey playing Ellis is black and white, and he's also boomed at this point. There's the in cap going out onto Venom as well. That's going to be more damage off of that damage bonus. Let's see if we're going to see another in cap go out potentially, and indeed we are. That's going to be 3 in caps going out and only 1 survivor left up. That is super unfortunate for Team Skyrise. They need to get these pickups as fast as possible, and then they need to literally hold W into that safe room, because as you can see, the map says it's 600 points, but it's actually 700 points, and they can still have just a sliver of bonus. They need everything they can possibly get right now, as that spitter is keeping itself alive, MK. Pretty tense moment right now for both sides. If Am can get this wipe and stop those distance points, they'll be in an even better spot, as that pounce lands, and the double boom hits as well. This is real precarious for Skyrise right now, but where's the Horde exactly?
That's a good point. There's that boom land. There's no common coming in. It's fortunate for Skyrise. They're going to be able to keep going. They still have an 82 bonus. Let's see if they can get in there with it with a charger as a spawn. They still have a few seconds out from the other charger, smoker, jockey, and a few seconds for the other one, Rails, and it is going to be a hunter. So they're going to have a quad cap to finish up this map right here.
Indeed they are. Krycha is going to be standing up top. That's 2 deaths going out. There's the jockey going on to Krycha, and Nick is just going to make his way into the safe room, so that's going to be Innuendo taking the points as best he can. They almost make full distance, but this is going to be a just under 700 point differential going into map 4. Obviously, Skyrise is based on how they played throughout the tournament. I know that they take a bit of pride in the fact that they have these come-from-behind victories. Let's see if they can make it happen one more time for the 3rd week in a row. They're going to have to. They do get 4 bonus right there at the end, so it's 683 points, but this is the difference so far in this game. And MK, in a match of this high caliber, especially when it seems as though Dead Before Dawn, the map, is like the 3rd player in the game and is just trying to do the best that it can to troll everyone here. This is a really, really important delta that we've seen open up, and Skyrise are going to need an excellent tank from Krycha, I would say, with potentially, you know, ATM trigger in order to make something happen on this map. We'll see exactly what spawn it gives them for map 4, but this is the clutchest of clutch times for Team Skyrise.
Indeed it is, as they're coming into the 4th chapter here of the Dead Before Dawn map, which was picked by Veto, of course, in the Veto round. We're going to have a super late tank spawn. Look at that, 83%. I don't know if they have to change it on this map, but that is a very late tank spawn. And there's a lot of close quarter charge spits on this chapter. They don't have to deal with it on the opening attack. For some reason, I do not see the last spawn. I see a smoker, hunter, and a boomer in the rotation. The last one is going to be a charger. So they're not going to have a charge spit for the opening attack, as we do see some pretty fast ready ups here, but as they're asking if they have to change, which they're not going to. But Rails, right now, we wanted to see an earlier tank spawn if your Team Skyrise, but unfortunately it's going to be a late one. But fortunate for them, there is at least one more chapter and a lot of potential to get a lot of damage in close quarters as we are going live.
Skyrise SI are going to have to do work here on their side. Smoker, Hunter, Boomer, Charger. Almost a good hit for this inside portion of this map 4, but that Hunter's going to get deleted as he tries to go in. Charger also going to get shredded. Boomer goes out from the back, gets M2 shut down. Smoker gets cleared. Only 4 damage on the board for Team Skyrise. And Amp, I think probably because they practice this, they're going to know the route to get out the fastest from this kind of labyrinth-like set of offices and rooms here. But as I say that, I think they are going to wander into it right about now, but there's also a lot of opportunity for another charge spit and maybe even a wall kick that we're seeing here as the survivors work their way forward. No damage from that first hit, MK, but it's all about these close quarters hits, and that spitter is going to be absolutely invaluable for the SI.
Yes, it will be, as right now. Oh, he's completely separated. Oh, if that hunter would have landed, Rails, that would have been so much damage. They're going to land the spit. Oh, massive amount of damage coming out here. That damage bonus. Look at that health bonus, Rails. 50% off the second attack. Skyrise is making the hits that exactly they need to do to make a comeback, Rails. What an attack.
He just got 170 spit damage on that hit. I am not exaggerating. That was completely insane, and that puts things back in Skyrise's favor momentum-wise here. That was a huge hit. The pre-spit in the back after that pounce went out with that charger and jockey. Huge damage. And let's see if they can repeat that as that double boom is going to go in. Smoker, Charger, Hunter for the rest of the hit. Pull's going to go out. Hunter's going in, trying to find the land. Not quite able to get it yet. Charger's lining up a charge. Gets a double charge right there, and it's already less than half of the permanent health remaining for Team Amp after 2 hits. They're down to 42% health bonus, and this is just absolute pandemonium. Absolute pandemonium, MK.
And Coach just got destroyed there. His health went down so fast. But yes, so much damage going out. Skyrise is making exactly what they need to do right now to make up these points. They're going to have a Boomer Spitter, Jockey, and the last spawn's going to come up. They're going to get a Proxy Boom onto 1 before they let that last spawn come up. No play on the ATM, it looks like, at this current moment, so they're not going to make a move on that. Right now, Team Amp has slowed down to the middle of the second floor, trying to clear out these commons before they press on. They did not get any ammo spawn in that room there, Rail, so right now they don't have any ammo yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they are at bullets right now, because I know there's usually could be a spawn there, but they don't get it. Next attack's going to be a Hunter, Charger, Jockey, and a Spitter.
Another devastating tri-cap potential here. Hunter, though, is going a bit early, I would say, bouncing through the door, trying to set up the same thing we saw before, but there's the charge, and the spit going out once again onto Ellis. That is another nice amount of damage going onto Sentimental there. The Hunter was going for that lead, deciding not to wall kick, but it really was of no consequence as that charger was able to land once again. As the survivors keep working their way forward, you know, Amp are going to have to really just... They're going to have to increase the W speed, I think, at this point. Smoker's going in. I think that probably is for a sack, and it's a Boomer, Charger, Hunter for the rest here, MK, as that Boomer is also going to die. Kreitcha is saying stairs, and I don't know what he's saying, but you can't jump down to
take the
somewhere.
shortcut.
Okay, yeah, there's probably a shortcut.
Yeah, you got to go down the right way. I do see, and maybe take a little bit of damage, but not a lot if you jump in the wrong area. But right now, it's the Hunter's trying to go. Actually, the Charger does miss. Doesn't get anything. They're trying to get a spit here, but that Hunter looks like they're trying to find him. Hunter wants to get this pounce. Oh, he does manage to get the pounce, but the spit was not ready. Oh, the Charger gets it away.
That's the end cap and the jockey onto Rochelle. Team Amp are getting beaten up by Skyrise's SI right now. We know that Amp are capable of doing the exact same thing on their SI side, but they really, really want to kill them before tank. If you're on Skyrise's side, they're going to have one survivor perma-soul, it would look like, and they do have an event to deal with here that requires a lot of traversing. MK, it's really not out of the realm of possibility that Amp could die prior to Kreitch's tank if Team Skyrise keep hitting the way they have.
Indeed, they can. For some reason, I just heard some weird freaking noise. Like,
same.
I didn't know what that was, but okay. Boomer gets a 1 boom. Hunter looks like he's just going to pounce around the top. Charger's going to come from behind. Charger. Oh, the nice stumble by the Hunter makes the Charger land.
Oh my god.
The damage going out, Rails.
Triple kill. This could easily be the wipe because Razor and CTU are at one scratch range. Smoker's going to go in, getting the in-cap onto Ellis. This is about to be extremely unfortunate for Team Amp because they are caught in the middle of this. You see the go-go's coming out in chat from Skyrise over and over and over again. Team Amp are certifiably dead. Probably when they're going up the ladders in front of them at the very latest. But this spit is going to go down onto Rochelle. There's the in-cap from the Hunter. Jockey is going in, trying to land onto Sentimental, playing Ellis, but he's not going to find it. Coach is at exactly 1 HP. Boomer does go in and manages to troll just a bit more, but Sentimental, having popped those pills, MK, he is already black and white.
Yes, indeed he is, and they're going to get another pickup here, but the problem is they're getting pickups, but they don't have pills for everybody. So this is devastating for them. Actually, I think they're going to leave her on the ground to avoid bleed. I don't know about it, but they're going to get a pull forward. The Charger is going to go in and get a charge. They spit in there as well. The Charger does miss, but it is a second in cap. There's 2 survivors down. The health bonus is completely decimated. Damage bonus is almost gone. And it is just a matter of time, Rails, before the inevitable happens as they try to get this pickup now.
Honestly, it's a really smart play by Team Amp to leave those survivors down just a bit more, but they have to be real careful now because they're out of pills, they're still Horde, and there's another strong hit coming up for Skyrise. Jockey, Boomer, Smoker, Hunter. Really nice separation 3-cap here if they can find a way to land it. It's not the charge spit that they might want for upstairs, but there's the double boom going out. Smoker pull going in. Jockey's going to die. The Hunter lands on Rochelle in the back. If I am Kreitcher right now, I am praying to my team to get this wipe prior to that tank. A little bit more damage going out onto Razor. They should have a strong hit for when Team Amp drop. And if you notice, they're getting the percentage now that they won in terms of how far they're going through the map, right? They're at like 69% or something like that, but as they keep moving their way forward, one hit as they drop off before the tank could end their entire existences this map, MK.
Yes, as they're coming up to a very big choke point. Of course, the Infected need to go through it slow like the Survivors, but right now they do have a charge spit coming up right when they come down this attack. We should see them come in momentarily. Looks like Rochelle's going to go first, try to take the attack. Oh, nice shot going forward, which they are not going to be able to get cleared before the in-tap. A free spit goes out, which is... Oh, actually, that spit doesn't register in there.
Does not, exactly. That is one spot where it would be completely insane for the Survivors to deal with that, but there's the double charge going out in the air duct there with a pound going out for the charger, but unfortunately for Krycha, it looks like Team Amp are going to be able to work their way forward. This is still a nice job by them after those first couple hits. You know, taking as much damage as they did. They're going to get as many distance points as they possibly can. They have exactly 2 Survivors, black and white, at the same point in time. Let's see if Team Amp are able to spawn this tank. There's one more hit going in for Skyrise. Hunter is going to land onto Ellis in the front. Spitter, though, is a little bit late going out in the back. If he had spit Ellis, he could have died there, but I think this is when Amp are going to start trying to just go for points. And in 1.9, the points don't freeze when the tank is up. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Skyrise's Survivor side as well, because Amp are going to die with most of the distance points in this map, despite the special Infected play being as amazing as it was.
Yeah, that is 100% true. They're coming up at about 550 points of distance at this moment. This map is pretty long. Looks like the Charger's going to come up from behind on the stairs. Does manage to get a kill. Hunter does land. So does the Jockey, as well as the Tricap coming from behind.
Oh.
Smoker tries to intercept it as well. And oh my goodness, they're just going for a ride. At this point,
I think the tank is up in the hands of Krycha. This is not going to be the tank I don't think he wanted to play, but it's a good problem to have if the other team is already dead. Looks as though La is just going to start moving his way forward. The tank is on fire, and I'm not sure why. And Dead Before Dawn continues to rule this entire game's existence. 561 points for Team Amp on that map, and indeed in Special Infected chat. Does that tank spawn on fire? There's absolutely no way, right?
No, no, he did walk into it with chasing one of the Survivors, but I thought in Zone Mod that once you were on fire and you walked out of the fire, that he immediately extinguished you. So it might be a little bit of a bug there. I don't know why that happened, unless it just happened because the round ended and then it didn't put him out. So that's
no, that
as well.
they should just never catch fire. That's honestly like. The thing is, like on Dead Center Map 1, right, if the tank spawns downstairs, you can run through the fire and take a little bit of damage, but it won't light you. For some reason, probably because it's Dead Before Dawn and it's doing as it likes to do, that is going to be a potential for the tank to accidentally light himself and have it do real damage. Like, that's essentially the equivalent of a Molotov at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so right now, Team Skyrise, if they make the safe room just with bonus, they'll be down about a little bit more than 500 points, so they want to make it with at least 250 bonus to bring that score deficit a little bit closer. Ideally, they want to make it with more, but this map is very, very long rails, and a lot of charged spits are possible with all this close quarters, as it looks like Krycha needs a few seconds before they ready up here, get this second part of Chapter 4 going.
Yeah, and the story of this game potentially is right now how Skyrise deal with these hits on Survivor side and whether or not Amp can replicate their success. You know, Amp can get these massive hits as well, but if I'm Skyrise, I need to play this a little bit more cautiously, probably a bit slower than they did the last map, especially just because this is crunch time for them. They've done excellent on map 4s, like we've mentioned a couple times in this tourney so far, but they need to have shotties get those quick kind of shutdowns. They need to not take a massive amount of damage at the event, and honestly, because they did most of the damage to Team Amp prior to the event, they had to sit there and bleed that entire time. It was very smart of them to leave one Survivor down so that they didn't just have Rochelle bleeding randomly after that. The biggest point of this, I think, is going to be if Skyrise can make it to that event maybe with only one person bleeding, because that room that Team Amp were in is extremely Survivor-sided after you have those close range hits like the one we're going to see out of the safe room.
Yes, indeed. And actually, I do see in chat, it is 550 to win, but they do have 2 chapters to do it, as they will be playing the finale, so right now, they want to try to make up as much as they can on this chapter to bring it reasonably within the next. And I've already watched previous tournament when Rehab went on there, and they've almost actually lost on this finale, but luckily they did manage to get the wipe back then. But anything is possible in this finale. It's worth a lot of points, so a comeback is very much possible. But right now, they're going to have to set the tone for their Survivor round as soon as Frey comes back They're going to begin the round, and the opening attack again. They're going to have to deal with is going to be a Charger, Smoker, Boomer, and a Hunter as they're going live. So there's no spitter for the opening attack rails. Let's see exactly what Team Amp can do with their infected.
I expect to see after this hit, Skyrise just to hold W literally as hard as possible. Because
why is no one shooting through that wall?
I don't know, but this Charger's going in, dying first. Hunter is also going to get blown out of the sky. Smoker and Boomer still saving right there. Boomer gets a nice double boom. Smoker going for an insta-pull, and then a scratch or two. Horde is going to be an issue right now for Skyrise as they move their way forward. Coach is just a bit behind at the moment. This is not good because he is the player with the highest ping, and they aren't clearing him. There's a massive amount of separation between the survivors right now. They're not going to be able to go all the way out of this. Amp are going to have spawns coming up in just a couple seconds, and it's going to be a very nice hit. Charger, Jockey, Hunter, and a Spitter, the same hit. The devastated Team Amp on Survivor side now has the chance to do the same to Team Skyrise. Let's see if they're able to chain one of those hits together with maybe a wall kick of some kind. It looks as though that's what the Hunter is going for from one of these two dressing room booths on the side. Kreischer, though, playing that position one shot, he is going to be wise to it because that Hunter is now going to jump and bounce off of the door frame. Spitter and Charger both pre-spawn to the right, and here comes the damage train potentially. Instead, though, it looks as though it's going to be a Jockey on Kreischer in the front, and they managed to clear it. MK, that Charger went for an intercept. I thought he should have stumbled Rochelle there.
Yeah, I see what the play they tried to do, Rails. They wanted to spit and then kind of charge it, let that Jockey take the Survivor floor, but that forward. But that was a clutch clear by the Survivor right at the last minute before that Jockey went around the corner. And right now, Skyrise is taking this map very, very good. Well, the Boomer does land a one boom underneath, but they have a Spitter, a Smoker, and a Hunter. Right now, this is not a lot of damage. They're going to send it in. A pull just tried to come down, but doesn't manage to land. The Hunter does land with the spit following on a little bit. And unfortunately, Ellis took the long route to go out of it. And
the Spitter got away! Spitter has 5 HP MK, and there were a couple survivors trying to pick it, but this is kind of what we were talking about with keeping the Spitter alive, just because it is so easy to get close range damage, especially when playing on high ping. It's been really, really good damage spread by Amp so far on Team Skyrise. Everybody's sitting just right about that 75 HP range, except for Innuendo, who's a bit higher in terms of health there. But this is another devastating hit opportunity. It's a really good 2-2 for indoors. Jockey, Charger, Boomer, and a Spitter.
This attack is actually very, very big for Skyrise. If they could take this clean, they can get in almost to the event area without taking another attack. So this is going to be very huge for them. Charger's already in close quarter. Jockey's trying to scramble. Charger looks like he's going to try to spawn between them. Actually, they're giving up that spawn right now. And here it goes. The Charger's going to go in. Jockey as well with the Spitter. Actually, they managed to pick
break the door. You want to break the door? Are you kidding me? Dude, that Jockey is caught inside the women's restroom. The Charger and Jockey both tried to break the door, and it was impossible. And now it's just a Jockey, considering his life choices, I suppose, in the bathroom stall, because that is, dude. Like I said, there are three teams in this game. There's Skyrise, there's Amp, and then there's Dead Before Dawn. And right now, Dead Before Dawn is impressing me.
All right, right now, Skyrise is holding W, running into this choke kind of quickly. Looks like they're slowing down a little bit, trying to get this Spitter with the Hunter, Smoker, and Jockey, so it's tri-cap. Jockey also lost 25 of his HP. They're trying to go in. Hunter's trying to get a pounce. They are just holding the S key. Nothing is going to land at this moment.
Oh my goodness.
Just the Hunter's down. Look at a lot of baiting going on. Free Spit's going to go out. They're not going to be able to get it. Jockey's going to get shut down too. Smoker gets a pull. Nothing into the Spit. Right now, Rails, the team, Skyrise is taking this very well as survivors. They have managed to take 6 attacks and only lost 28% of their health bonus, Rails.
Exactly, and they still have 1,253 bonus left. Boomer gets nicely popped and shut down. The one thing I want to mention about that last hit, though, is like, okay, why did the Spitter go for that free spit? He went for that free spit so that he could die second. And because of that now, there's going to be another charge spit in the queue here for Team Amp. But Skyrise, very, very similar, I would say, to Dead Air Map 2, where you have one survivor standing in this door. They just really cannot afford to have spit spread all over this back room. If it does, they need to get out of it right away, because with these common, they're not going to have a whole lot of room to kite. They should be able to shoot the common and body block effectively here with Kreischer in that first spot. Hunter coming in, looking for a pounce. Charger coming in as well now, going to get shut down as that Jockey lands in the corner onto Coach, and there's that spit spread. Look at Coach and Nick.
Wow. Wow, what a spread. That was actually a really big spread, but it was fortunate enough not to go on the survivors. And they managed to take one more attack. The health bonus is at 66%, damage bonus intact. All 4 sets of pills. So right now, Skyrise needs to take probably one more attack, and I think they'll be able to go up. But they are not going to have that spitter, as the spitter didn't die early enough. They're going to have a Boomer, Smoker, Charger, Hunter. They're going to get a pull out first. The charge actually goes onto the pull target. Once Sam goes out.
That's unfortunate for Team Skyrise. Nice play by Amp, despite the fact they weren't able to capitalize on that with the spit. That Charger was able to get in before being melted, and he got that slam onto Krycha. This is an interesting call now by Skyrise, because there is still a decent amount of Horde left, I would say, plus a single boom going out. They are going to be taking this elevated position, climbing these ladders, and I almost thought I saw Rochelle go flying off the side, but we haven't seen that yet, as they're going to work their way into this air duct. The thing is, I think Spit, as we said before, is nerfed on both sides of this, but definitely when the survivors drop. So despite the fact it's an extremely strong hit for Team Amp with that 3-1 charge Spit, they're going to have to wait for Team Skyrise to get a bit further out of that duct to do any kind of damage.
Yeah, indeed. If they just get Spit in there, it's not going to do anything. So if he can get the kill on this Hunter right around the corner, it's huge. Jockey's just making some noise. Spitter looks like he's going to back up the Hunter immediately. Oh, that's a nice shot. Doesn't get the skeet, though. Spit's going to go up. Charger might try to get a stumble. Stumbles him. Unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of damage. Unfortunately, they're going to take an in cap onto Rochelle.
Yeah, that's something where the Jockey, I think, made the exact right play. They got the stumble play they wanted. Krycha's going to go down. However, I will say that is their first in cap. They're going to be picking him back up. They still have a large amount of bonus. This tank fight, though, is going to be huge. It's going to be up in the hands of Sentimental for Team Amp in short order here. Let's see if they decide to spawn it now, or if there's going to be another hit. I think that's going to be the Boomer getting shut down in a nice spot, too, for Team Skyrise. So now they're going to be able to move forward. I'm not 100% sure where they want to take this tank. There are probably a couple of options, but let's see exactly what Team Skyrise are able to do on Survivor side. Crucial tank for Team Amp is going to be up right now into the hands of Sentimental, as I mentioned, and now this could honestly be for a huge part of this game, as this room 3 cap is going to go in. Hunter's going to land onto Krycha, is going to get cleared. Charger gets a couple of fists, then gets cleared again. Jockey is taking one survivor away, and the tank is going to be looking to get as close as he possibly can to them. But honestly, MK, this map can be a labyrinth at times.
Yes, it can. They have far to go back to fight this tank. It looks like they're going to fight it in this area right here, which is kind of wide open, but it's a little dark. And there's actually an event there? What is that?
No, that's not an event. That's if a stray bullet hits that for whatever reason, it's going to create an explosion similar to the No Mercy 3 gas tank there.
A nice proxy boom going in. That could be big. That could send this tank in. Charger and Smoker is his support right now. Looks like he's going to hang back a little bit. Taking about 140 chips so far. Looks like he's going to reposition and take a different angle. Taking a little bit more chip. But where's the common?
I don't know if the common work in this room. From what I'm seeing so far, they're spawning behind the mall glass there, just kind of staring at the survivors and raging. We're going to be seeing Sentimental work his way in with everybody still in full bleed for Team Skyrise. Charger, Smoker, Hunter for the support. Early pull is going to go in, but they're going to clear it as the tank's working his way. That's going to be a whiff on the charge as well, but they're backing up right into that danger zone. Tank is getting a multi-punch as well as this happens. There's the pounce going out onto Nick. There is so much damage happening. Krycha is going to get punched. That is almost the wipe going out. The Hunter gets M2'd off. There's the pounce, and there is the wipe by Team Amp. That was pretty nuts. I mean, Skyrise played a heck of an infected round, and then on Survivor side, like I said, this tank area, they had that tank down to an extremely low amount of health when that support went in, but the support was able to do a great job capitalizing. Skyrise need to wipe on this tank, and they're gonna need to make the finale in order to win this match. It's a 702-point distance going into it. It's possible, but MK, it's all down to that first tank, really, because if Amp make distance, this game's gonna be over.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately for Skyrise, they're going to have to get that first kill, but if I remember correctly, they still get a good amount of distance for that first tank spawn, if I remember this finale correctly.
That's
so
85%.
That's unfortunate. They're not going to see the tank very late, so they're going to have to kill this tank and make it with a pretty hefty bonus, but it's still possible. A Team Amp is going to have to probably just make it to the safe room for them, and they'll be pretty comfortable just with the distance alone, due to the fact that they have about, what is it, 700-point lead about? Just about?
The only difference so
704?
far, right, the only difference in this game so far has been map 3. And map 3 was one of those situations where Amp were able to just really be on Survivor side. Everything else has been really, really even between both sides. This is something where this event that is pretty much never ending until the survivors get there. It's one of those gauntlet finales. It can be devastating, especially on that higher ping, and we need to see Team Skyrise pull one immaculate special infected round into existence here to have any chance of them winning this game. And I think we're going to be going live right here. Grand Finals Quarantine Anniversary Tournament 2021 comes down to this. It'll be a tank in the hands of Frey for Team Skyrise. Smoker, Spitter, Boomer, Hunter on this first hit. Smoker goes in for an early pull, not going to land it. Hunter is going to land onto Coach with a spit going down on top of that and a double boom for good measure. It's going to be that quad attempt once again, MK.
Yeah, they want to land the quad right away to try to see if they can just win it on distance alone. So this map is worth a lot of points, so they just want to be able to get the wipe. It is 800 distance maps, I believe. Maybe 700 actually, so I don't think it is 800, but they want to try to kill them right now. The quad cap is about to be up in rotation, so they're going to want to send this in at the most advantageous spot for them to land this as quickly as they can, Rails.
Indeed, I'm looking for maybe like a Hunter wall kick here. It's 800 distance points. I just checked the map info.
Oh, it is?
So
okay.
Yeah, that helps Skyrise's case, I'm pretty sure, just based on those distance points. This is going to be the Hunter going in from the back. Charger from the front. Imagine to get the charge into Coach's face with a slam. Jockey going in the back as well. But just because of the survivors' positioning there, they were able to avoid that quad cap attempt. I would expect to see another 2-2 hit coming out as the survivors have to work their way through these sliding glass doors, rotating around there, taking a bit more time than they might have liked, but they are going to be working their way into the first part of this gauntlet finale. It's going to be a Charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Boomer for the next hit for Team Skyrise. Let's see if they're able to make something happen out of it as the survivors are still working their way forward. We haven't seen the common starting quite yet, however.
No, that is true. They have not started. It looks like they're going to try to do a charge. The charge is going to go in a little early. Looks like they send them first. I don't know about that, but Hunter gets skeeted as well, so no cappers are going to land here. But this will be another quad cap attempt, Rails, just like you said after the first attack. Due to the death order, they got a quad cap on the second attack. We're going to see a quad cap attempt on the fourth attack as well.
Indeed, we are. And the survivors are going to be able to hit this button, I think, to start the crescendo. And as that happens, let's see if they try to hit this quad cap on the SI side. Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter. Survivors working their way into this room over here. Now, this is the spot they want to be to kill this quad cap, but I do not believe the Horde terminates on this map. So, depending on what Team Skyrise want to do, they can really play the patient baiting game, trying to find any kind of spawns on this. If they go into that one hallway that the survivors are in, though, unless they get some kind of multi-charge, I think they're going to get massacred on the SI side.
Yeah, so if I Skyrise, I would just sit here and wait. I wouldn't even attack them at all. I would just sit there and make them come out. As you can see, bait timers are coming. Oh, it looks like it was just a mini event, I guess.
No, it's gonna be more Horde, but I'm pretty sure what happens is it happens in stages. So if you stand in one spot and then you go forward, right, that'll make it start again. It's kind of like waves that way. Nice skeet going out by Sentimental. Charger does go in on the jockeyed survivor for a bit more damage. Everybody is going to be in that 4-punch range. The thing about this MK is that the distance ticks up incredibly fast, especially in terms of the tank spawn. So the survivors are going to round a couple more corners here. I think there's maybe 1.5 more hits for Skyrise to send in, and then this tank is going to have to do absolute work.
Yes, it is. It has to kill them. There is no little bit of damage, 1 in cap, 2 in cap. It needs to be a wipe. The next attack is going to be a Spitter Boomer since they tried a quad cap attempt with a Hunter and a Smoker. Not the worst of two, but not the best as well. Ellis does bump the Boomer, but does get popped on with the proxy. Hunter does get skeeted. The Spitter is unfortunately not going to land on much of anything. And that's going to be the 5th attack dealt with, Rails, and only 21% damage off the bonus.
Exactly. We're going to see those distance points ticking up along with the map distance. Getting pretty close to that tank spawn percentage. Probably one more hit to go in, and already 500 distance points in the favor of Team Amp. So this is going to come down to right now because of this tank, and then if Team Skyrise can make that save from with bonus. Nice boom going out onto one survivor there as the tank is up into the hands of Frey himself for Skyrise. Let's see if he can get that absolutely crucial wipe that his team needs, and he actually might be deciding to commit once again with the rest of this Horde, but the survivors are backing all the way up here. Jockey and a Smoker for the 2 spawns in queue right now. for his all-important support, and I think the survivors are trying the best that they can just to outrun the horde as they move backwards, and Frey is going to be following them, taking absolutely no chips so far. I'm interested to see exactly where Team Amp go for this. It looks like they're going to choose these windows on the side. MK, they're going to be hittables in play. I believe there's a dumpster or two, and they're going to try to kite him as best they can in these windows because it's hard to hit the dumpster into there, along with the fact then that the SI are going to have to come from one direction. It's dangerous, though, if the tank gets an early corner. That could actually spell the wipe.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to bring both toys out here, but one's not agreeing. He's not taking much chip, about 400. Another 200 there, almost down to 600 HP about. Looks like he's just trying to get one more hittable in play. Looks like he's going to have abandoned it, taking too much chip. He gets one hit. Good thing he's left it because it would have just spelled his death.
Oh, he can't get in that way.
Oh, wow, he's taking already half his health.
No, and he tried to go over the... You can't commit on those trash bags there.
Where's he going?
Blocks it. He is absolutely dead. He's 3,000% dead. Hunter, Jockey, and a Smoker. No hittable. That's a no-hitter. And that is Team Amp, who are going to, more likely than not, take the win in the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament. SI saying they don't know this map at all. If you didn't know the map at all, it's
Should have vetoed.
not the best idea to play it in a veto, but at the same point in time, Team Amp are going to try to make the safe room, and they have an absolutely incredible bonus so far as they're going to work their way in. That tank, he tried to commit in over those garbage bags, and there is not enough room for the tank to go there. He got stuck. He took 3k damage, wasn't able to get a hit in, and that is just super duper unfortunate for Team Skyrise, and a great play by Team Amp, who have been on it their entire tournament run, MK, and they are going to be taking this one home, barring some absolute miracle for Skyrise.
Yeah, they were just holding the W key. That tank managed to get nothing. The health bonus sitting at a whopping 1,370. Granted, this end part is a little bit tricky to take as Survivor, so as long as they can sync up, get some damage, or else land this quad cap that they have, this is going to be very big for them if they want any opportunity to make a comeback. This quad must land here. This is going to be huge. Jock is going to spawn. Jock actually does land. Pull goes out as well. Hunter does land as well. The Charger's the only one that's going to land. Oh, he's a little late, Rails. It was almost it.
Oh my goodness, if that Charger been able to land, they managed to get the clear on the Charger. The Jockey's going forward. The Smoker has an in-cap. There's their tank damage. That was so close. That would have been the miracle that Skyrise needed there. But instead, I think Sentimental is going to be just down forward, clearing himself with those double pistols. Actually, he's down back, so they have to go all the way back to pick him back up right now. As this reset did go out, they need to get another decent hit. Spit's going to go in, going to land on the Survivors, who are picking up for a bit more damage, and I think they killed the Boomer as well, so it's going to be another quad cap attempt now for Skyrise, trying to hit Team Amp on this. That was close to the miracle they needed, MK, and they have another shot now.
Yeah, they do. They're not going to get any more distance points due to that reset. They'll actually get another try before they even got to where they were, so that was huge for Team Skyrise. Fortunately, that Charger was just a split second too late, Rails, so they're going to have to deal with this quad again right at the same area. I think they might wait for the comma to start trickling in before they send it in again, so they might get just a little bit more distance, but it'll be a smart play by them, and it should be coming any moment as they're just past the area where they just got reset at.
Yeah, that reset is brutal there, too, because the Survivors have to bleed. They're going to have to run to Horde once again, and it should be spawning extremely soon, because this staircase is where the Survivors have to go next. Let's see if the event actually will restart for that. I believe it shall, and indeed, there it is. The Common are going to start making their way in, and the Survivors are wary of another quad cap attempt here. They're going to work their way a little bit back outside. Smoker, though, pre-spawns at the car. Hunter manages to land in the back, but the other two SI are not on it. They're just going for that play in the front instead. Charger is going to get a slam there onto Ellis, but it's not the wipe, MK, and they still have pills to have Sentimental be fast.
Yeah, they still have a pretty respectable bonus too, Rails, and they're sitting at 462, and they are about to reach the rooftop. If I remember, they don't have much further to go, and once they're up there, they just have to wait for the vehicle to arrive, and they pretty much go, and they're out of here. Next attack's going to be a Boomer, Spitter, Hunter, and a Smoker. Let's see if they send this in relatively quick to try to get one more quad cap attempt. Hunter's actually trying to get a spawn. He's coming in from pretty far away, actually. Boomer goes out, gets a nice two boom. Smoker's coming from behind. Hunter's coming in. Hunter lands with the Smoker as well. Spitter unfortunately goes for the wrong target, so that's a net attack shutdown. Spitter's going to hold the spawn bonus at 313, Rails.
Indeed it is, and Team Amp are making their way now to this ending truck, I believe, right at the perfect time for them. They're going to be able to get pretty much out of here on that truck as it moves its way around. Spitter is going to be looking for some more damage onto the survivors, but at this point, it might be a moot point for Team Skyrise, as that double boom does land for a bit of common focus. But we'll see if the survivors are able to get on that truck or not, as the next hit is going to be going in. Charger jumps up and manages to get a charge onto Law in the corner, but the spit shoots over him. That is not going to be damage for Team Skyrise on that, unfortunately for them. Meanwhile, Amp have killed the rest of the Horde for the most part, and they are going to get into this Crossroads Mall armored truck van transport thing, and they are going to be taking home the title of Quarantine Anniversary Tournament 2021 winners, with the bonus that I believe they have. MK, it was a ridiculously hard-fought match between both these sides, but in the end it seems as though it does come down to map 3 and potentially map 5, because I think Amp are going to have a different strategy for that tank than we saw Skyrise use. The number 2 seed in the tournament, undefeated in the winner's bracket, scores 3,418 points on map 1 through 5 of Dead Before Dawn here in the grand finals. This would require, still in the realm of mathematical possibility, of course, we're not talking about probability right now, for any chance that Skyrise has, it starts with taking no damage before the tank, and then they would also have to no-hit Team Amp's tank, but the winnable vary. They're doing the quick math on Survivor side. Either way, right? Like, this has been the match I think we were kind of hoping for. Dead Before Dawn itself did it had its own it added its own flavor, I would say, to this entire game. But Skyrise, you know, Survivor side here, just try to play it out as much as you can and focus on each hit. I think Amp have all the momentum in the world though at this range, so we'll see what Skyrise can still do. Commiserations to them if this is going to be the final score, and Amp are half a map away from taking this title.
Yes, they are. We're just waiting one more ready up to come, and then we'll get this last round live. Again, they're going to need the 857 bonus. It's not outside mathematical possibility, so it can happen. I'm curious to see how Team Amp are going to do their attacks, see if they're going to try to go for as many quads as they do, or just try to get damage in general. But right now, it looks like Team Amp has the lead, and it also looks like in second place is Skyrise, but not far behind is the box truck from map 2 coming in third. So it's a pretty close game right now.
When we look back at this game, like, having that shutdown and taking only 2 downs on that tank, right, and then to have the wipe happen the way it did, that just completely nixed the momentum from that. I mean, it's going to be a La tank once again for Team Amp. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter for this first hit. It's going to be that 2-2 that we see here for Team Amp. They just have to do a decent amount of damage to make this happen. Hunter's going to go in. Spitter's going to die second, it would seem. Then the Smoker's going to die there, waiting to kill that Boomer at the end. And I think something that's really been working for Amp so far is that they've been going for those spit plays as much as possible. And even if it looks a little bit weird to have the Charger and Spit die that early, they're guaranteeing they get, again, for another indoor area. So they're able to just reload that hit and keep going. Yeah,
nice triple proxy boom going out. Unfortunately, they couldn't avoid that. So you're going to see him slow down a little bit to clear out these comments on high ping, because high ping and pushing into attacks is a very bad idea, as we've seen in the past. And actually, Jockey's going to come in. Hunter's going to spawn as well. Hunter is actually going to get skeeted. Jockey gets M2'd for his troubles. Free Spit goes out. Doesn't do much, but since it's 1.9, they do get 2% off the bonus off the spit. 2.2, you won't get that kind of free spit damage. But right now, the Horde is the event has officially started.
No, it hasn't. It has not. They shot an alarm car / ATM. Oh. Yeah, that is something that I just saw go out. That was unfortunately Innuendo being the one to trigger that. They shot the ATM accidentally, and now the hit is going to go in. Charger's going to land on the car. Hunter's going to land. Boomer is trying to work its way inside, but that's a long charge going out onto Frey. It's a beautiful double cap with that Smoker as well. That is catastrophic for Team Skyrise, and Frey typing the 4 in chat. I can guarantee the one thing that's missing from this game is MMR, but at the same point in time, that is just super duper unfortunate for Team Skyrise as they work their way forward. They're going to be dealing with a lot of Horde, MK.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay hitting the car alarm. I didn't see it. It didn't pop up for me, unfortunately, so I didn't see it. But right now, they're going to hold W, get through this house. Actually, they are in the house, which is not a good, or inside that little building, which is not good. They do back out of it to not get stuck in there, but a pounce does land. It's cleared. Spit does go on it with a jockey as well. That's going to be decent. It's not getting cleared. That is massive amount of damage, taking the bonus all the way down to 1,172 rails. They've already lost about 600 some of that bonus.
Really have. And now, I mean, they haven't even started the proper event from what I can see. They're going to have to go hit that button on their right-hand side and then probably take a hit inside that room, but I don't know. Let's see if it's going to be a quad or a spit hit just prior to this happening. It is going to be a spit hit, so if they go running in there, no, Skyrise, no, don't do it. If they stay in that room, it's going to be real unfortunate. Oh, actually, the SI decided to hit instead of hitting them inside that room, which is really beneficial for Team Skyrise. I was very scared for them as they worked their way inside, but now they're going to be able to push their way forward, and they're going to have to W as much as possible, because in order for them to win this game, they need over 800 bonus, and they're going to need a very, very clean shutdown on this tank.
That is correct, Rails, but one thing that is noted, that each set of these pills are worth 40 points. So you might as well subtract 160 off that score right now. They're already at 940 then. Because you know all these pills are going to be popped when this tank comes in, basically, due to their health. And look how low it is. So right now the attack's going to go and Boomer spawns up ahead. Jockey's trying to land. Smoker lands. Charger lands as well. Charger gets no slams. He is cleared relatively quickly. Jockey lands as well. But still, Rails, they're at 1,046 bonus minus that 160. It is almost flirting with the danger zone right now.
Indeed,
I think it is almost it already. I think that might be already GG if they pop their pills.
Exactly, and La's going to have this tank. He's going to know how to get to them. Even if he doesn't know it by the fact they practice the finale, they have the advantage of having gone second here on SI versus going Survivor first. If you're on a map you don't know, that really does help. As this Hunter is bouncing its way in, going to get skeeted there, but the Charger, Spitter, and Smoker are still up for Team Amp. They can still get a good amount of damage on this, and it looks like the Survivors are waiting to pop their pills as much as possible as the next hit is going to go in. Charger is going to whiff. Smoker Pole does go out for a bit of damage in the front, and then that's going to be Ellis taking a bit of spit damage as well. But this is going to allow the Survivors to push into this room, and if you see there, MK, they have 3 extra sets of pills on the floor. I'm not sure if they're able to take those or not. I believe they are.
I believe so, because right now they need it to get this W. So they're going to pop all these pills, clear out these commons. They need to get this tank up. So right now it's not out the realm of still making a comeback yet. This tank needs to spawn up. Charger's going to come in. Charger does land on the Alice. Hunter covers as well, but the Chargers land before Pound goes out. And Rochelle's also cleared before a lot of damage. So they still have those 4 sets of pills. Rails bonus is at 902.
Yeah, this is going to be GG, I believe, in short order here, because the only thing they might be able to do is if they found a way to rush past the tank to the safe room, but I don't think Amp are going to allow that to happen, and it's going to be a winner's bracket victory for their troubles, right, on Team Amp's side. And this is unfortunate for Skyrise now because they do have everybody bleeding. It looks as though Krycha is a little separated, but now he's coming back to his team. Charger, though, is going to go in after the pull is not going to land. That's going to be a spit going down, and the tank being spawned is already going to have the victory on his side. That bonus is down to 790 for Team Skyrise. So Team Amp are going to be your Quarantine Anniversary Tournament winners. Is Nick here? I think he is, but he was a little separated there for a second in the back. Tank is going to be rotating his way around. He's already right there, getting the first punch onto Venom. Another punch going out onto Venom. That's going to be the end cap. Tank has 5.6 HP, and that is also hittable. That thing that also, yeah, that thing that's also there on No Mercy map for, man, that's going to be Amp taking this game with just a bit of style of their own at the end. The go-go coming in as that jockey is still in. Tank is getting that corner on to Ellis. One more punch will do it. Krycha, the last one up in that corner with the window. It is a congratulations for Team Amp as they beat Team Skyrise on map 1 through 5 of Dead Before Dawn. 3,418 points to 2,366. Congratulations to Team Amp for taking the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament, MK.
Yes, it was. It was a great last match to watch of the tournament. We saw all kinds of high Survivor play, high Infected play, and even the map coming into play of Dead Before Dawn doing its thing. And of course, you can't forget about the 4th team besides the map, that box truck's Rails. That box truck was huge.
Unfortunately, when you look back at the flow of the match, right, they had an opportunity on Survivor side to at least take the lead at that point, which would have done something for them morale-wise, right? But yeah, that's just one of the it's one of those games where any mistake could cost you the game that way. Like map 3 was the biggest score delta there, But in order to be a team like AMP, especially on a neutral game, you have to have, a really, really close to mistake-free game on both Survivor and Infected. But AMP, I think, have been the most consistent team throughout the entire tournament. It sucks for Team Skyrise, of course, because they managed to get those two upset last-minute wins, really, on the last 2 weeks. But AMP were able to just play the same way they have throughout the entire tourney, and the most consistent team did win in this game.
Yes, it was. But I'll tell you one thing, Rails. We saw a lot of craziness. We saw someone get punted out of bounds, and a very nice restart by the team, which ended up with them getting wiped immediately after that by the tank in the safe room. So there was some great, exciting play, and I was absolutely honored to be able to cast it with you, Rails.
Absolutely. So right here at the end, we're going to give a quick shout out to the tournament administrators and moderators. That's Blue, along with, I believe it was Spirit plus Discreet, and I think there were a couple others who were involved. I'm going to get the page up real fast, but thanks to Vanel for streaming a lot of the games in this tourney, and UMK as well for streaming and casting. It's been great to see how this event goes. We have a couple other tourneys already either in the works or going on, so it's great to see just the momentum for the community continuing, and congratulations to Team AMP and commiserations to Team Skyrise.
Absolutely, and also do a quick shout out too to Sir. Please, thanks for having the servers up for us as well. Thank you for Vanille for being the camera woman as always, and thank you Rails for casting me as well. It was a pleasure.
Yes, and the other moderator to shout out, of course, is Mr. Loud himself, so that's the tourney staff for you right there. Thanks to everybody who also streamed these games. Vanilla, as we mentioned, Kraicha as well for the work he put in, Fitz, Ziziushi, Blaze, Owen, and also Han. So that's the official full roster of those who we'd like to thank there. And like you said, shout out to Sir as well, and of course everyone for watching these streams, because like I said, competitive Left 4 Dead 2 is just going to keep going. That's pretty much how we've seen it go recently too, like after the last stand update, and plus with all the tournaments still going. So it's awesome to see this happen, and it's awesome to still be able to cast it. So
absolutely, and hopefully when the next tournament's over, we'll get that new map in the rotation, see if we can get Crash Course Remake in there.
Exactly. Soon you're gonna have a tourney that has to be run with all remakes. That would be pretty cool, honestly.
The remake tournament, yeah, there's a few things in mix, and we'll announce them as they come along.
For sure. So, alright, with that being said, thank you to everybody for watching, and I'd say have a great rest of your weekend, because it is just Saturday here. We're going to have some VGT3 matches, I'm pretty sure, coming up as well. But for the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament, again, great tournament run by Blue that way, and thank you everybody for the support of these players and this game.
Indeed.